Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to the Big Think Dimension with Dan and Bob Video Games.
Bob, Juan Yu etched my face into his memories.
Very straight.
Chris Wolfhard.
I'll sue you!
And that's it, here on GigaBoots.
Hey,
Hey,
how's it going?
a lot of music left.
It's okay, because this week the volume dial works.
What? Crazy.
Oh shit, Windows deigned to give you that back.
Windows take us and Windows give us.
Yeah, no, it's true every fucking day! It's so horrible! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Big Think Dimension. As it always was. Here are our three only hosts.
On the dark streets of London?
Right here next to... Does that say Clues, man? I know behind your head it says Wolf Bar.
I get this is a spooky Darkstalkers background, but it looks so identical to a screen from The Secret of Monkey Island.
It's you know?
It would
Wolf
fit.
Bar. There we go.
Wolf's Bar.
Wolf's Bar. Anyways. Hi. How's it going? Aggro. He's not with us this week. Cause I fired his ass. No, that's
Jesus.
it was a scheduling problem. And a snow problem.
Yeah, it's no problem.
It's a snow problem. I'll be honest. It's a fucking snow problem.
Like,
Approximately 1,600 Floridians were pardoned this week, and they all converged on aggro at once. So he's dealing with that.
Hit some Musso down there. He's got a giant 7-foot spear.
luckily, none of them know how to drive in the snow, so it's not that bad.
He's in fact also etching faces into his memory, whatever that is. He said he was real busy doing that.
Oh no, Bob. Not knowing how to drive in snow does not prevent anybody from driving in snow.
It's true.
Oh, but it causes a lot more injuries on the way.
Yeah, someone was like, why would you want to be in Florida? Think of all the car pileups. And I'm like, I wouldn't leave my home.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely
There's
not.
literally no way for any reason I would ever leave my fucking home in the middle of 4.5 inches of snow in Florida.
No.
Still, really missed out on that surreal experience of the place where I grew up getting covered in a shitload of snow when I've never seen it snow there.
Yeah, no, it snowed there like once when I was 10. I mean, it wasn't this. It was like there was such a thin layer that it's hard to even call it snow.
Yeah, and by the time, like, I was in the car when it happened. By the time we got on the side of the road, because we were on a state road, so you had to wait for the next exit. By the time we got out of the car, it had stopped. Like, these are very different things. Meanwhile, somehow here, well, it did snow, but that was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago, yeah.
It was really weird
pretty
for the freak storm that seems to hit on MagFest, because it happened last MagFest too. I remember some of the people I know, their flights got delayed and or canceled because of it. Somehow that freak snowstorm didn't hit us this time. It went under.
Right.
It went under. Yeah, that's
I mean, it was supposed to snow tomorrow here, and I guess it's just the forecast changed. I guess it just was like,
it's
nah,
just
we're
not
going
wet
straight.
enough, too dry, too sauceless, this region.
But did you get to like negative 10 degrees? Jesus.
It did. Every day I've just
No,
been
not
like
negative, just regular 10
regular
degrees.
10,
regular
yeah,
10 degrees.
regular 10 degrees. Every day I've just been like, it's cold enough to snow.
It's just,
All right. Anyways, I've been thanking God for the car that chat. So I guess I should thank chat. I've been thanking chat for the car you all helped me afford buy 2 years ago because it has seat warmers. My God, the difference that makes. My God. Jesus Christ, such an important technology. It feels a shame that it took so long and that it's still only in the upper half
it's
of
only
car
like my
SKUs.
car doesn't have that.
Yeah. If Bob wants a seat warmer, he has to take a roll of paper towels, triple layer it, soak it in water, stick it in the microwave,
Don't do this.
and then just sit on it in his car. That's the only way Bob can stay warm.
You boil rocks, and then you take the rocks out. They dry off really quick because rocks retain heat really well.
Yes.
So they're 211 degrees. Then you just wrap them in a towel a couple times and put those on your seat and sit on those.
I was worried this would end with, and then Bob sticks them in all 4 of his pants pockets.
Jesus.
Two front, 2 back, and he just scalding himself.
It was so fucking cold here that I woke up at 2 a.m. fucking freezing to death because the flimsy insulated wings on my window air conditioner weren't cutting it.
Oh,
so I had to pull that out of the window at 2 a.m. to shut the fucking window completely because my thermal windows do a lot better job than the tiny little layer of insulation on
the in window unit. Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks. I'm not used to that being a cold problem. I'm used to that being a heat issue where it's like, well, it's letting more heat in now than if I had just closed the window. So it would have been fine if this was insulated, but we've crossed the threshold and now I'm running it. I guess I can make these important announcements at the beginning of the stream as well as the end. People might be interested in that. Who knows? I'm watching some of my OLED screen's retention go on. Hey, Bob, look at this.
Oh.
See how it's kind of like gray and
I was
white?
like, that's not my eyes messing up. That's actually
That's in fact the screen sort of messing up. It's okay. That's what the pixel refresher's for. We are finally streaming Devil May Cry 3 on Switch this Friday. As a part of our streams, we promised y'all that were some of the best games ever.
Mm-hmm.
Devil May Cry 3, the most optimal version, the Switch, is this Friday. Hilariously.
I'm still upset they never did an update for the other versions.
Oh, yeah. No, that sucks. That sucks. That is so much worse than the PC didn't get Virgil. It's like, no. No one but the Switch got the greatest version of Devil May Cry 3. Arguably a better game than 5. Arguably.
I thought PC did get Virgil. It just didn't get any of the other shit.
Yeah, it got Virgil. It didn't get the other stuff.
Ray tracing and whatever else. The super fast forward
Legendary
mode.
Dark Knight.
Legendary Dark Knight. Which is ironic because it feels like that mode's made for PC. Because it was originally, I think, debuted in Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition. Or 4 Special Edition.
So this is fine. You guys got a way better version of Devil May Cry 5, technically, than we got everywhere but the Switch of 3. Ignore the fact the hair looks fucked up on every modern version of Devil May Cry 3. However, an interesting part of the stream is that due to technical issues that will become incredibly apparent when you watch the stream, Timer Chen will be invisible. I will make her visible this stream by the end. I just wanted to cover this. She will be invisible. She may die.
Oh, no.
In complete darkness. I don't know. I'm not in control of it. This is a technical problem that is unavoidable.
She became a Fantastic Four member.
Can you name a fate worse than that? How many actors will we cast as Timer Chen and with all of them go, I don't know why it didn't work. Was it the script? Can't be that. No. It definitely can't be that. So yeah, that's going to be this Friday. Please look forward to that. This Thursday, nothing because we're doing it right now. God. Go live with Big Think Dimension 3072.
Whoa.
What are we going to talk about? Xbox. Did you ever look up when that Xbox thing is?
I think it's noon our time.
Oof.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Hey, gamers, wake up early for some steaming hot disappointment.
But Echo the Dolphin might be there.
I'm gonna repeat this again in the news segment because I don't think anyone wrote it. A mysterious SKU for a $75 Xbox controller appeared. I think they finally did the thing I said would only take them 2 years, making the knockoff DualSense. After enough developers bitched at them. Because reminder, the director of Jedi Survivor was even like, the number one problem doing development across these two platforms is the controllers don't have parity. And when that guy is saying it, and other devs are saying it much more low-key, you know they got a lot of feedback for the last 4 years of, what the fuck's wrong with you? Make a new controller.
No. I bet it's just going to be some bad color.
It could be.
Because there were the rumors are going around. Like,
they'd be crazy if they make another Xbox controller at this stage. Like they have no sales.
Yeah, but that's the controller of the future, and it'll come over to PC and be the controller of the future.
It'll sell 0 copy. It'll sell 0 units.
That's not true. People like Xbox controller layouts because they grew up when the 360 was important.
I don't even. I think Microsoft has been a shit show so long that's bleeding out.
No, it sticks with people. A lot of people grow up with one controller orientation, and that's the one. And they hate the
boomers,
other one.
But that was a very tiny evolutionary dead end.
People who are like 10 years younger than us are like this. They got out during the Xbox One, but that was late enough of their life where it was locked in.
Mm-hmm.
I actually know a number of people like this.
Well, they'll learn when there isn't an Xbox controller anymore in a couple of years. Period.
They learned before the Series X launched. That's why the numbers are the way they are.
But yeah, I saw that even 8-bit, those like newest controller, with all sorts of new features, is a 360 layout. I'm like,
yeah,
you did it wrong.
No, that's a preference. That's a really strong, very American preference.
It is.
It's a thing.
It's like your 8-bit dough. This is awful for retro games.
For retro games, and your name's 8-bit dough. And they're like, yep. Okay, just making sure we were both aware of this. Nothing else to say here. Have a good one. So yeah, it's either a custom color thing that they announce that's Master Chief or something.
Because they were going around, it was going to be that transparent one. Because they had 2 transparent ones in the past. Apparently, something about this SKU makes it look similar to those.
Okay.
So we'll see.
My God, I hope it's the feature parity controller that devs keep screaming at them for 4 fucking years. But it's probably more likely that.
It won't be that for $75. It'll be that whenever it comes out for like 80 or 85.
They can't overprice a DualSense. They always set it the same price and then they don't include batteries.
That's true.
That's their trick. And they do get to raise the MSRP technically because their MSRP is currently lower than a DualSense. So
yes,
there's financial gain in them doing this. Whether or not they'll see that, that's an entirely different issue. So, Bob, here's what we need to do for Devil May Cry 3 on Switch. I need to spool the HDMI out, turn it into a component feed, then downscale that and turn it into an SD component feed, and then hook it up to that TV there. The CRT.
Jesus. It's a lot.
This is important. And still, reminder, the hair still won't look right.
Right.
I think it's really unfortunate that there's no, like, hair fix.
There might be on PC.
I have never heard anyone bring that up every time they bitch about how the hair's wrong. You think anyone would have been like, it's okay, this guy fixed the hair.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really was aware of that until very recently when a bunch of people were like actual very intense retro people were like, yeah, any game on PS2 that has bad hair on anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it came out on PS3 originally, I'm like, that hair looks like shit. It did not look like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no one gave a shit what I thought. Still true, by the way.
Right. I think a lot of it doesn't look bad, especially in cutscenes, which those are pre-rendered, so they can't even fix it.
Is that the deal? Is every cutscene pre-rendered?
I'm pretty sure. Well, a lot of the cutscenes are pre-rendered. There are some that aren't.
Why would they have the assets well enough to pre-render them and do it again but wrong?
I don't know.
How did they do that?
I don't know.
That's really impressive. Chad, a friend of mine saw on PC Gaming Wiki this game, and they're like, this game supports this type of anti-aliasing. And then they told me NFAA. And I had never heard of that in my life.
Okay.
And I tried to look it up, and it's some like association for something. Of course not. Chat, is this real? Feel free to let us know. I'm not making a whole new segment out of this next thing. I'm getting this out of the way too. Hey, Chris, remember how the most positive news about all the NVIDIA GPU stuff is that they made their model for DLSS higher quality, so all these old GPUs could enjoy it.
Didn't they fuck that up somehow? Like it has more of a performance hit now?
It's 4 times the computational load.
4 times?
They say they optimized it so it's not completely 4 times the load. But hey, you know what's going to increase with that is a lot of memory bandwidth. That thing that the new GPUs have a ton of, some might even say objectively excessive compared to all prior GPU designs. And the older GPUs will choke. So I'm sitting here with a 4090 going, I wonder if even I
it's
could run that and it made any sense.
It's like they made a perfect technology to boost the numbers and try and get people to upgrade.
What? You're telling me they invented a problem to solve with the GPU?
Weird. They would never do that though, right? That's not what ray tracing is.
So anyways, the image quality is increased and it's backwards compatible. Let's see how that goes. Reminder.
Man, what games are going to use it? There isn't any games for the next 3 years.
Here's one, that. Two, you can, through the NVIDIA app, properly decide which version you use, the old version of DLSS or the new one.
Mm-hmm. So they don't even, the developer does not need to implement it.
Otherwise, it wouldn't matter at all.
Yeah.
You know, like all the neural rendering shit they announced. Where it's just like, ooh, what if the texture was a neural description? And I'm like, then no game would support it.
Whoa.
Next question.
But there could be a future game.
We made this cool tech demo using mega geometry in order to put billions of polygons into this dragon. I'm like, that's cool. Oh, you expect me to be excited. You made a really cool dragon model. Thanks. It's okay. NVIDIA will get this proper change in how graphics are done within the next 6 years. I promise. That'll happen.
When did ray tracing somehow?
They've been pushing ray tracing with the 2000 series over 6 years. Why do you ask? Why is that relevant?
Adopted, right?
Every game has it.
Okay.
Every game has it. Chat, when's the last time you played a game that wasn't wholly dependent on ray tracing? Every game. I mean, our game of the year list is nothing but games that need ray tracing to run, right? My top 10 list, 100%
Is there even one game on any of our lists?
Let me go check my tentative top 10.
Much less use it extensively, but use it at all. Have a ray tracing mode.
Yeah, I was like, does 7 Rebirths even?
No.
I don't know. I don't know if it uses ray tracing, but it definitely doesn't have a togglable.
Right.
I haven't checked. I haven't looked at the PC version enough to know if that was required. Does Zenless Zone Zero count? It didn't have ray tracing at launch.
But now it does.
And if I remember, you were saying it kind of made the game run like shit.
Yeah, it makes it run terrible even when you have it off. Like this, with that latest patch, the whole game just runs worse.
They have to have done another one since then to fix that.
I hope.
I'm checking my list now to see.
I don't think Tekken 8 had it.
Okay, Infinity Nikki's is somewhere in my top 10, and it uses it for ambient occlusion and reflections a little. A teeny tiny bit.
There you go.
Kinutsugami, you might use it because they use that in a lot of different Capcom things now.
I'm gonna be honest here, Chad. Aside from games that were already mentioned, I think the only game on my list that could have it is Astrobot.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, no, it's like
there's no way in hell Like a Dragon 8 does. No. There's no fucking way.
Unicorn Overlord. They put
there is no ray tracing in Astrobot.
Why even bother porting it to PC?
Worthless.
Apparently, the Rebirth PC port also does not support ray tracing.
So
it's not even.
So what I'm hearing is over 6 years on, we still don't. We can't even make a top 10 games of the year that have
a game
mandatory ray tracing in any of them.
Even
except for Infinity Nikki.
Some of the highest budget ones, like Rebirth,
Infinity Nikki, which has menus that barely work. like the game that clearly came out as soon as they could possibly ship it.
Right. Yeah.
But that's the next the next thing that's the NVIDIA announces is going to be bigger.
One second. We need to roll it back. When they launched the 2000 series GPUs, they literally said ray tracing, the future is now. That was over 6 years ago. They were not like, this is our first step into the future of gaming technology. They were trying to sell you on a 2000 series GPU would be necessary to play games you would want to play on a 2000 series GPU.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it really just comes down to our tastes in games clearly isn't aligned with the mass population. Obviously.
So
Star Wars Outlaw still great, right? So did Dragon Age Veilguard, right?
We might have a news story about that exact thing in case you didn't see it.
No, I put it in there.
Okay, I was wondering. Yeah. So they even had, I believe it was Tom's Hardware that did the article that was like, when you look back on your life, how much of it do you want to have not had ray traced?
All.
Jesus.
They literally wrote that at launch.
Insane.
So no, I do not believe neural rendering at all fucking matters anytime soon.
Yeah,
Shocker.
They sure have been a marketing arm of NVIDIA for a while.
Tom's Hardware?
Yeah.
Maybe the people in charge of writing about tech are a little too in love with the idea of they live in the future now, like many industries.
Mm-hmm.
Doing all sorts of unsustainable things and backing all sorts of stuff. You know, kind of like speaking positively about a GPU that costs 25% more when it has a 30% performance buff in normal rendering, which makes me go, wow, that's the worst gen-on-gen increase ever when you make it price relative. Good job, guys. It's okay.
Okay.
I only have one more opening random thing to talk about. So I need to just shift my sleep schedule bad. If you recall, the Dynasty Warriors stream on Friday, we did not go all the way through because I had begun to fix my sleep schedule. It was going well.
Yeah.
After that stream, something Tosh cooked broke the mind of our smoke alarm. There was no smoke. There was none. There wasn't even a smell. But this smoke alarm was convinced I was going to die in a fire if I went to sleep. And it was very convincing with its insanely loud sound.
Yes, they can be.
I kept turning it off. And I would have just enough time to turn it off, go all the way back to my room, start to lie down for like 10 minutes. No, it wasn't carbon monoxide. Don't worry. I also got scared shitless over that.
Mm-hmm.
And I checked. It's a different sound, of course. Now, I got to sleep. I'm there in bed. 10 minutes, and then it goes off again. It did this 5 times. The fourth time, I put it right on top of the air purifier, the exhaust from the air purifier, just to be like, you're getting nothing but clean air. It was not the low battery sound. That's also a different thing. No carbon monoxide. There's no smoke in the house, like none. So that completely fucked my sleep schedule, despite us stopping playing Dynasty Warriors Origins. A great time.
Uh-huh.
So that way I could fix my sleep schedule. So yesterday I did something I've never done before. I did maximum strength melatonin gummies. Now then, I remember there were studies at one point that were just like, melatonin, you eat it, and then it just gets broken down in your stomach, so it doesn't do anything.
Right.
And I didn't know.
That's bullshit. That is horse shit.
I didn't know how scientific it was. So I go ahead and try it, right? First time I've ever, like, if I took melatonin before, it was in a fucking pill, and it was like 14 years ago, maybe longer. It was before GigaBoots. So 300 years ago. I can't do Benadryl for anyone who's like, why don't you take the sleep medication? You know, that's Benadryl, right?
I don't like...
It makes my head throb.
See, it just knocks me fucking unconscious, and it's not like a restful unconscious. It's like you go under for 12 hours and you're still groggy when you wake up. Like, that's what I associate like normal sleep medication with.
That's the experience I've had just from cold medication that makes you drowsy. Like that's how it feels after you
that's
wake
what
up
it is.
that.
The sleep medication, Benadryl, like something hydrochloride. Anyways, literally is just cold medication.
Thing, yeah.
It's a sinus thing. So I can't do that because it will literally make my head throb. The effects of it working on my sinuses will make my ear pressure and everything freak out, so I'll hear throbbing. Good luck sleeping while your head is literally throbbing. Not even a headache situation, just I'm hearing pressure change. So, yesterday, finally, I decided to give melatonin gummies a chance. And I'm playing Metaphor. Now, I started that day by drinking an energy drink, and many, many hours later, I had these 2 gummies. And as I'm playing Metaphor, my head, and I'm not doing this, this is happening. My head is just slowly approaching, resting my forehead on my desk. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's working, Chief. So that was it works. What do you know?
The main thing I associate with melatonin is it makes your dreams really fucking vivid, and you will dream every night you take them.
There were people in a Discord I'm in that were talking about that exact thing, where they cannot do it anymore because it gives them really vivid dreams. I
like that aspect of it.
I would just simply not dream. Now, I definitely dream. Like, I had dreams. I just don't remember fucking any of it. Usually I do, but that time I woke up and, like, here's the thing. I slept. It wasn't a perfect sleep. There were many moments because that's a time of day I'm normally awake where something would happen and I would get up and just be like, what the fuck was that? Was that the doorbell? And Tosha's like, I'm setting an alarm. Like, I was checking timer sounds. She's across the hall doing this with the door open. So I freaked out and got up. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going back to sleep. Dan's dreams are frame generated. No. If it did that, I would not ever take that again. That would be horrible. Yeah, I'm shocked. That shit works.
That's cool.
For anyone who's curious about the specific ones I took, it was the Ollie Max Strength Melatonin Gummies that I recommend. I think they recommend you take 2, but of course you can only take 1. You can take only 1.
You can only take 1.
It's just the jar closes on your hand. Yeah, no, it strawberry flavored. Anyways, yeah, that worked. I was shocked because, again, last I heard, many years ago, and I didn't put a lot of weight into it, but I don't go out of my way to try something that might not work.
And it felt like a bunch of things that were coming out then, especially like, yeah, this is just complete marketing lies. So it fell in line with all of that.
Right. Which, I mean, one of the things, if you take a multivitamin and the multivitamin isn't gummies and it's just a pill, like most of it's going to pass through you without getting absorbed anyways, because that's just how it is. That's why on these gummies, they literally say, chew the gummy thoroughly before swallowing. It's like,
I'm not even sure if that's true on the vitamin angle, because usually I think they switch to gummies because if you take a multivitamin pill on an empty stomach, it will fuck you up.
See, you will become violently ill. I always heard it was drinking a Monster Energy drink isn't an empty stomach, right?
No, it is because I used to take like multivitamin pills and I switched to gummies because if I forgot to eat breakfast or something, you become violently nauseous for like 20 minutes. Like when that pill pops in your stomach.
I know what you're talking about. It's literal dehydration, especially because you just feel like there stopped being normal fluid in you. That's how I always experienced it because I did do that working at CVS a couple times. Where I hadn't eaten any food.
Yeah, I've never experienced that, but I only take like B and D vitamins, so I don't.
But have you taken it on an empty stomach?
Yeah. But maybe it's just wasn't the full multivitamin.
For me, it wasn't as extreme as Chris's. But again, it might be based on how much shit they chalked into it. Anyways, I always heard it was an absorption thing is why they do the gummies. Because I remember asking a pharmacist about that. I didn't ask a pharmacist about the melatonin thing. Largely, I do not rely on things to help me cope. So that way, when I do need to rely on things to help me cope, they are very strong. I don't even know if this is true, but that's the reasoning. I'm still losing it over not one game. Not one game is rage.
One thing that I saw a lot this week because of the snow in Florida is people from Florida were also posting about that Cuban restaurant that the Cuban sandwich shop that I didn't know about when I lived there.
Specifically, what was it? Ian. And the person who runs Rad Junk, the game store and the barcade down there. We're talking about that bitch and Cuban sandwich place. And I was like, Bob's going to be so pissed when he finds out that we moved away and then this came up as a topic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't know the whole time it was down there. I think that thing's been open for years.
For people who are curious who Ian is, it's Ian from Pat the NES Punk and his podcast, CU Podcast, Completely Unnecessary Podcast, and also Extra Napkins. He regularly goes to that con that happens in the Panhandle.
But yeah, next time I go down there, I have to.
You have to. And I have to go too, because if I'm ever going to enjoy a Cubano sandwich, it should be that one. Ian says he literally dreams of this Cubano sandwich.
They apparently also do a muffaletta, which is the kind of sandwich I really like, but nobody makes anywhere around here.
Look, I'm just happy that because during Dynasty Warriors, we got Chinese food. The Chinese food place, China Sun, is like better than any place in Niceville. That made me really happy.
Yeah.
Because I thought Genshin's was good.
Right.
Like, it's all right.
It's fine.
But it wasn't like I wasn't glowing about it.
Right. And I
This
feel like it
place
got worse as years went.
Yeah, this place I could actually eat at like every Friday and be fine. It's just really good. They did a really fucking good job. Admittedly, I need to eat something that isn't just a fried chicken.
Right.
Because maybe they're just absurdly good at fried chicken and bad. Well, then again, their fried rice was great. Chris, do you have good Chinese places around there?
No.
I'm so sorry.
We have one, but it's so far out of the way that I never go.
Our buffet here
and
was
there was
bad.
one that was pretty close that was good, but then they didn't answer their phone for like 6 years.
Yeah.
They were still open.
Huh.
But they would not pick up the phone. It's like, I'm not going there, ordering, and coming back 40 minutes later to get it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, one around here started doing that, but then they closed within like 6 weeks.
Well, here's the thing. They're like, there are only two things that could be on the other side of that phone. The IRS or a customer, and we don't want either.
Yeah.
They answer their phone now, but they've gotten so expensive that it's like I don't want to pay $19 for like a meal.
Yeah.
Even if it's technically 2 meals because it's a Chinese place. I need to check because there's a Chinese buffet that I haven't been to in a million years, and I think they started doing takeout because you had to
Right.
during COVID or you died.
Yes.
So maybe that's okay. I need to look into it.
Because the gummies were successful, they were effective. I slept during those hours, which is a miracle. I've been trying to do that for months. Yes, that's right, chat. Because I don't work a normal job, I will simply just sit there and struggle to change my sleep schedule for months instead of simply going, just fucking get something. Go buy a thing to alter your body state to fix your fucking sleep schedule. Because technically, I can do my job on a really shitty sleep schedule. Anyway, because that worked, I got this haircut. And I also got to have my Costco breakfast of a hot dog and a slice of pizza, along with a soda for $3.50 before tax. And I was like, damn, this rules.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Costco stuff is really good.
That's fucking crazy. So anyways, I'm going to have to change my name. I'm going to have to change my name to like Dan the Morning Gamer. Video games. I like that I can
wake
work
up at noon,
game.
the morning.
The Morning Gamer. I didn't wake up at noon. That's how effective this was. I woke up before noon.
Incredible.
Anyway, that's we're good with tangents. I think we're good. I think we can move on. Should we talk about the gay elephant in the room?
Probably.
Chat. Dynasty Warriors Origins is the gayest game we've ever streamed, and it fucking rules.
It is kind of insane how gay it is.
It is so gay. It's fucking awesome.
It honestly feels like it might have been written at some point so you could choose the gender of your main character even. And then they're like, try that out. You just play as this guy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that doesn't sound like Koei Tecmo to me.
They're like, check this out. We got our best writer to write the gayest Dynasty Warriors ever, staying authentic to how gay Guan Yu is.
Look, when you have to keep making shit like token Ranbu warriors,
I forgot about
you're gonna that's gonna bleed into everything.
I believe people are saying the writer on this came over from the Fire Emblem Warriors game.
No. They all Koei Tecmo made that, so they also wrote it.
What do you mean?
I mean, they came over from Fire Emblem, but they're still from Koei Tecmo. Like they wrote all those spin-off ones. I went and checked their
like
games.
all of them.
Yeah, like they also wrote on I think they also wrote on fucking Rise of the Ronin.
That could have been gayer.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it could have been anything.
Yes.
Did I say Three Houses? I said Fire Emblem Heroes game, didn't I?
It might have been both because Koei Tecmo also basically made Three Houses.
It's true. But yeah, no, This is really good, guys. This is a really good game. This is if this isn't game of the year, I'll be impressed.
They need to stop saying Louis Boo.
Yeah, the voice direction really slipping in this sucks because Dynasty Warriors is a story of people figuring out how to say Chinese names eventually and then falling off the wagon.
Yeah, because apparently by 7 they got good at it, and then when 9 rolled around, they completely recast, and I think they've recast yet again.
It's so unfortunate. Louis Boo is the most ridiculous shit yet because that's supposed to be Lu Bu,
right?
And the funny thing is, you'll have a room full of characters, and they won't all say the name correctly.
Yeah, no, they'll each have their own version.
Yeah, someone will introduce a fucking character, and then they'll say their own name differently, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, it's fucking absurd. But every other angle of this game's fucking immaculate. It looks fucking insane. It runs really goddamn well in the PS5 Pro, which I still haven't seen it on the normal since the demo.
Yeah, I played a little bit on the normal. Weirdly, the overall map runs kind of bad, but the end stages seems fine.
Awesome. Good. As far as I can tell, they actually increased the fidelity from the demo on the PS5 Pro immensely. Like, it looks like they actually properly implemented Pisser, and it just runs better, flat out. To be honest, if I had not already bought the Steam version, I would have just bought the PS5 version and played it on my Pro. Like, it's good enough. And it frees me up to do whatever I want on my PC at the same time.
Right, which is always a nice thing about playing on console instead. Like, it's pretty frustrating on PC to be like, okay, I want to look at something really quick. Oh, I'm going to have to close the game down. Or
it's okay.
I get to minimize and it'll mess up in some way.
I have this pause play button, and I'll just hit that, and this YouTube video I'm listening to will pause for this cutscene, and then you'll hit that, and then it'll start playing a different tab that you have open that has a different media player in it. So now that and YouTube are going at the same time, and I'm like, I hate you. There should be a full stop and then a restart that is specific.
Right.
Ugh. So Dan, PS5 Pro is worth it now, right? So I guess I'll cover this now, even though really I should probably mention in the news for people who skip this stuff and go straight to news. The Star Wars Jedi Survivor got an update where they implemented Pisser correctly, and it just looks drastically fucking better now. So I think there's a really good chance a year in, it does have the flat-out upgrade, massively better look that people were expecting. And that temporal AA technology, especially hardware bespoke versions, is such a difficult learning curve. As I said during the Game of the Year category, where his biggest disappointment, I talked about the physical limitations of your ability to perceive detail on a fucking TV that is any remotely moderate distance away from you. Was one half of my disappointment with the PS5 Pro, and the other half, and the more important and honestly depressing part, is the part where it's like you can make a good temporal AA solution, and then people will still fuck it up. So anyway, I imagine a year in, the landscape looks really different. I'm looking forward to that. We will definitely do that stream again at the end of this year.
Oh no. Just
to see, maybe this time it'll be even easier. Maybe you guys will get an even higher percentage. Maybe you won't have to do this.
Maybe a game will release this year.
Yeah,
we'll have new games for this.
We'll get to do Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding too.
Yeah, unless something goes wrong.
And Dynasty Warriors, and that's it. That's it, unless something goes wrong. No, Bob, why would a game get delayed?
Never happens.
That is never going to happen, which is why we'll be fine. It's fine that the live service nightmare is happening. Anyway, enough about the PS5 Pro and the industry. Dynasty Warriors Origins is fucking fantastic. I love how deep the combat is. I love how rewarding it feels. I love how many different weapons there are. I love how leveling up those weapons reinforce your base stats.
Yes, just to getting those ranked up will give you just straight up power increases and unlock new skill trees.
It's good.
Yeah, no,
this game's really fucking good.
Systems feeding back into each other. Always good.
Yeah. I really appreciate the absolutely absurd victory against Lu Bu. I wrangled out, and then the even more absurd victory against Dong Zhuo and 5 other generals at the same time while being shot with fire arrows. That was a great moment in that stream. What a fantastic video game. And it's so gay. We played the clip. We put the clip on Blue Sky so that way people could, there are a lot of people out there who are just looking for a game like this. They just didn't know where it was hiding, right? They didn't expect the new Dynasty Warriors would be the one that has this gay of content, right. Frankly. So I'm really glad the sheer amount of people who are like, I literally bought this game because of that clip on Blue Sky. It is not disappointing. I'm gonna play the audio real quick so that way listeners know exactly what's happening. So this is us from last Friday's stream, playing a cutscene with Guan Yu and the Wanderer in it. This guy's model. I'm sticking it in VR chat.
I don't know.
Tonight, I wish to etch the features of your face and the sound of your voice into my memory.
And then they walk off. And then they walked off, and we do not know what happened between those two men.
Greatest game ever made. That sort of thing keeps happening.
Yeah.
Gan Ning, when he's like, my boys really wanted to hang out with you because you're so cool. But I'm gonna really enjoy spending some time alone with you. I'm like, what?
Oh my!
We'll send them home.
Let me
you and me.
Let me see if I can get a proper image of Gan Ning in this game. Yeah, I think this will work. What do you?
Yeah,
that's so low res. Why is no one just putting up insanely high res photos of how everyone looks in this game?
And then you meet some other dudes like, you're pretty cool, but I really want to know more about your friend Guan Yu. He's touched my life.
Oh, did he now? Yeah, Gan Ning of the Bells is not very shirted. He's got some features going on. This is the most sexy the Dynasty Warriors cast has ever been, by far.
And they do that thing where they age them up as you go. Like, I got to chapter 3 and play a little bit of it, and they actually got new models for like Liu Bei and
really?
Guan Yu and Dong Fei.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was like surprising.
So yeah, this game's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It is really good.
Something I didn't hear at all about before coming out is the whole world map system, where it's like an old school RPG where you're a giant dude walking around a mini version of China.
Yeah. You're walking up to villages and stuff. You go in there, you purchase some stuff, you hear some stories, you do some other things. It's crazy. I would never expect a system like that in Dynasty Warriors of all things.
And there's just like side missions all over the map that get you different items.
Mm-hmm.
You can clear territories kind of like in Unicorn Overlord and get buffs.
It does be like that. So I have some. We have 20 different quote tweets on this. I'm just going to read some of them. I do gay porn in my spare time and have 2 partners, and this somehow makes me seem straight. Holy hell. Oh yeah, 2 of my guy friends were talking about how gay this installment is. Parentheses, praise. I started playing this game because of this clip, and it really does not disappoint. By the way, none of these people follow us.
Right.
And someone sending it to someone else. Have you seen how gay it is? There was this really good one. Where is it? I gotta scroll a decent bit to get to it because Jesus Christ. He pursued Lou Bussy. That is not the really good one, but I'm just reading it anyways. John Schwando said, "My boy Guan Yu has good taste." Jesus. Yeah, no, this we need fanfic, people. This brought some people out.
They wrote the fanfic into the game.
Yeah.
It's just there.
It's the text.
Yeah.
This Dynasty Warriors is fucking good. This is a really fucking good, like, this is what I'm talking about. We're more back than we've ever been. It's nuts. The soundtrack is also fucking banging. Yeah. Bob, have you seen like any of the metrics for this game?
No.
This is easily the best-selling one of these ever.
Good. We deserve this. It's been long enough.
We do deserve this. Finally, we won the culture war. Alex Navarro should be sentenced to review this game to pay penance. I don't care if he hates it, because if he hates it and he has to tell people he hates it, he'll just get yelled at, so I still win. The all-time peak for this game was 69,318 on Steam, which is really fucking high for a Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
Let's see. How many reviews are there? That's what I'm curious about. Because last time I checked, there were quite a few. It's number 11 of the top sellers. Holy shit. It has like 8,700 reviews on Steam. That's nuts. Not written, I don't think. It's 94% positive. Yeah, this is doing well. Doing pretty well. It's a good thing this came out this year. Because if it came out at the tail end of last year, I'd be like, I'm done playing games now. None of it matters. I'm going to give the top 5 slots to this game. Every slot, I'll talk about a different aspect that I love. I really love the parry mechanic. The fact that you can just get through ludicrous fucking battles by perfectly timing a dodge roll and parrying well is really good because they have that stamina break system that is like a giant chunk. Different moves will break it down differently.
Yeah, they finally found a way to put that in the game without it being as simplistic as is in other Dynasty Warriors. Where it's like, oh, you just switch to the character that has the weapon type that will break them.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's not that.
Yeah. They did an awesome fucking job on this game.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. I don't know what to say other than, man, I know what I'm doing. The second goatee is like locked in the can.
Right.
That's all I'm doing. The second goatee's locked in the can. Phantom Brave will have to wait until I'm done with this.
Yeah, I'm hoping to finish this before Phantom Brave comes out.
When is that coming out?
It's like the end of the month, it's like 28th or something. So I got a little bit of time.
You have 6 days. Okay.
Yeah. It's fine. It's
hey,
fine.
you have an air gap between Big Think and the Friday streams.
It's true.
You could just do nothing but that tomorrow. So there you go. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Dynasty Warriors Origins other than it is an absolutely immaculate video game.
Mm-hmm.
The only way it is left wanting is that it doesn't have multiplayer.
Yeah, it doesn't have multiplayer, and you can't play as
the characters.
The characters.
That's true. I've just done that so many times, it's hard for me to be like, that's a downside when it's like, well, this is the one time we don't do that. Maybe the very next time we do that again.
Maybe, hopefully.
And it's still really gay. As it turns out, it's really easy to write one compelling story compared to 30 compelling stories.
Yes.
So I kind of...
Even in like 8, they narrowed it down and be like, this is the campaign for Wu Shu. And that worked out a lot better for...
Than 30 stories, yes.
30 stories.
30 stories. And then Lu Bu was fine, actually. And he just wandered off. And Diao Chan and... that other guy, Zheng Lao, maybe, joined him on horseback, and they rode off, and everything was fine.
Man, I hope that this doing so well fucking makes Capcom go, oh, right, we have one of those.
Yes, same.
And even they just released the old ones and bring it to the States. I'll even take that.
I hope Capcom does that, and they just go, this is going to be awesome. And they get all the way up to launch, and they're like, and we have a day one Chinese dub, and it's going to sell so good. Wait, this isn't Chinese history. Oh, fuck, we're going to sell nowhere near as well.
It would be hilarious to see them get that character designer to be like, no, we're going to do the Chinese history this time.
That'd be awesome.
It would.
That'd be so fucking good.
Because they go so much more extreme than Warriors games do. They go insane. Like, oh yeah, there's a giant robot.
And the character designer is the one from Shinobi on PS2, right?
Yes.
And that's why it's so hard. Mm-hmm. They go hard.
They go really hard.
They go really hard. It's awesome. They definitely need to do that.
Yeah. I think that would sell, Just have a slight inclination that it will probably sell.
Do you think Americans are slightly more interested, especially the gaming populace, in Japanese-oriented things that are cool and high-end than maybe China?
I don't know. I mean, the American audience, yes, but you're going to see a hell of a lot more China over the next decade because but that's the only audience untapped.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying it would sell well over here in comparison to this because I think the only thing that's holding this back is no fucking education system in the United States of America has ever been like, you should read Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
God, that would be an arc.
I think.
I actually keep intending to read it and then I keep forgetting.
Yeah, I tried to read it back when I was in college and I just couldn't get into it.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't have known Romance of the Three Kingdoms existed until much later in life, if not for these games.
Right,
if
of
not
course.
for the Koei games. So I can't blame people for not having an inherent interest in Guan Yu and who he's fucking. I can't blame them. But from here on out, you all have to care about Guan Yu and who he's fucking.
He accidentally had sex with a woman once, and that's how he has a daughter. That's how I'm convinced of.
It plays the fucking defeat music for 5. She was really buff. I didn't know. I swear. Liu Bei just looking upset. And it's like somewhere between Xaver, Renegade Angel, and oh god, what's the guy who does the shitpost photoshops of like Half-Life and Duke Nukem? Yeah, I don't know. Kino Fabino. Yeah, Kino, somewhere between Xaver, Renegade Angel, and Kino Fabino, like the Brotherhood betrayed. And it's Zhang Fei and Liu Bei just walking away. That'd be so fucking good. Sex with a woman? Yeah, this game's great. The amount of disinterest in your character anytime a lady's in the room. Inherently just more interested in men. Very interesting, very telling. What do you think they meant by that?
I have no idea.
So, yeah, no, mechanically great, visually stunning. Like, my God, did I never expect a game that looked this good to come out of Koei Tecmo.
Yeah, they got so many people on screen, and it still looks good, which is insane.
Yeah, it looks immaculate, runs well, and there are so many people on screen. How did they do it?
I have no idea.
My God. People were saying there's something interesting with the PS5 version where the Chinese version is listed differently or something, so it's not technically the same SKU on the store or whatever that the other regions are.
Huh.
I'm interested in why that would be.
I don't know.
But I didn't really look into it because I don't care that much.
Mm-hmm.
I got more important things going on. You know, like playing Metaphor. Did you know Metaphor is cool as hell?
I noticed.
Yeah. Not sure if you know. It's, I like a game when it has writing like Metaphor. I like a game when I play it, the game just sounds like David Lynch. It's a metaphor re-fantasy.
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody with any egregiously bad takes on Metaphor since it came out, but I keep hoping that I can just quote tweet one with someone said, "You got filtered by a game called Fantasy Metaphor. That is the title of the game."
Did it occur to you through the countless cutscenes that were about the limits of fiction and fantasy itself and imagination? Any of what's happening in that game? Yeah, no, absolutely delightful. Absolutely delightful. Still haven't made it to 9/11.
9/11 takes a while.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to 9/11.
Have you at least met Zorba the Greek?
I whipped his ass.
Okay, great.
For people who don't know, a local Greek restaurant has a dish that's called Zorba the Greek, and it's just a gigantic platter with a giant wedge of spanakopita, a gyro, lemon potatoes, and a salad or soup on the side. So when Spiff's like, you need to meet Zorba the Greek, Zorba the not explicitly Greek,
Right, absolutely not Greek in this version.
I was delighted. Also, I love all the accents in this.
Yes, it's got a nice variety. It's interesting.
I feel like Kate Sith will try to slide into this crowd and they'd be like, "That his accent's wrong." Like they would pick it up in a second. They'd be like, "What? That was a little weird the way you." Reeves like, "Oh no, I've been had. Blow up the doll." Throws a switch and explodes. Yeah, no, Metaphor's great. I don't have much else to say about it other than it's an absolutely fantastic game. Really, really cool game. Bob, have you been playing anything else?
I've been able to play a few things.
Okay.
I finished Blade Chimera, which I started last week.
That again, Metroidvania made by the people who made Toho,
Luna
Luna
Knights.
Nights,
Fair Adventure
Deedlit and
Rebirth.
Wonder. Yes, Fair Adventure Rebirth and Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth.
Record of Lodoss War. That's in there too. It's like
Is
all
it?
in there.
Is it all in
Yes.
there?
I don't know which if they put it before or after, but it's in there because they need to let people know it's Record of Lodos War. Please, someone remembers, right? No one remembered.
Okay, so on the box art, God, can I get
super
Can I
tiny?
get a higher res so I can confirm what is on? Yes.
You find the Nintendo
Okay.
website. There's a high res.
Okay, I think I got this. Oh, it's A5.
Ah,
A5.
we need to stop having these evil image formats.
Yeah, once again, don't we have a backwards compatible format that's more condensed that's built out of the JPEG format so it's backwards compatible and it wouldn't be a problem? So we should be using that, goddammit.
Is this something like JPEG 5?
I think it's technically just JPEG. Like,
Dan, do you have save as PNG installed on your browser?
no.
I didn't know
You
that
should
was
really
there.
get that.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's an
use-
extension on every browser now because everybody's like, fuck these WebMs and JFIFs and AFIFs and
So
the other
I-
one that I fucking forget.
here you go, Bob.
Yeah, there it
Deep
is.
in Wonder Lab, right? The tiniest text in the world. Record of Lodos War. Oh yeah, WebP.
Yeah, I need to install that because when I make Game of the Year, I literally have to take those images I find and throw them into the PNG converter website.
Yeah, so Chris, if you could drop a link to that sometime by the end of podcast day today, not even necessarily Big Think, that would be
Well,
great.
you and Bob, you both use Firefox, don't you?
Yeah.
Or do you use both?
I use both Chrome and Firefox for reasons.
Yeah, I actually use both as well because I have to. Chrome is where I have the button for taking pictures in YouTube, and they don't have that for Firefox.
Wow. There's also what is the name of the other Firefox fork? It's like WaterFox or something.
Yeah, there is something like that. I haven't.
That's
tried.
exciting. Maybe I should get into that.
Maybe that's where it's at.
I talk about it like I'm a weird hipster, and I'm like, that could be fun. Get into jarring vegetables and using WaterFox.
But Blade Chimera is really good. It is kind of incredible. It's the closest thing to an Igavania without Iga being involved. Honestly, it feels like that level.
Yeah, they're kind of the only developer that really understands like the tempo one of those games need to run at.
And they also this one's super weird. You get an ability on the skill tree because, like I said last week, the skill tree just has straight up movement abilities. Like you get an air dash, you get a slide, you get an ability to warp to any panel on the map you've been to.
That's absurd.
That's insane. From anywhere. You don't need to be somewhere special to do this. There's no warp points. You can just go anywhere. Which they do goofy stuff like, well, that means you should teleport into the middle of this elevator so you can get into the elevator shaft and get this extra item. And it lets them just have entirely different feels like that. And it also fully explains that experience I had before of like, there seems like there are a lot of enemy-filled hallways. And it's like, yeah, they can do that when you can just teleport past them after you go through them once.
Yeah.
It also has side quests that remind me a lot of Bloodstained. So if you like that, cool.
I do like that.
It'll basically be like, oh, go kill demons in this area. So then you have to just go to that area and kill so many demons. Come back to any save point and turn it in.
It's weird that this woman's life was so hyper specifically ruined in all these different ways by these races of animals. It's very strange in Bloodstained that she's just like, I'm going to need you to literally kill every mudman on Earth.
They do, instead of that, they're like, kill red demons. Anything red, I just don't like them. It's like, all right, I'll go do it.
All right.
And then there's more story-based ones mixed in with there. It's like, oh yeah, one of them's like, oh, confront this journalist about publishing incorrect news about your obviously evil church organization. So then you go talk to him. He's like, I'm not making any of this up. And then one of your allies just comes up and shoots him.
Ooh. Exciting.
The story of this game honestly has similarities to Ecclesia, where you play as an amnesiac who's working for an obviously evil church organization. But they do have different twists on that and make it work a lot better than Shinoa, who's got literally no personality. Like it didn't do that with his amnesia. He is still a person, which helps. It also has a weird system where as you unlock abilities on your skill tree, it also unlocks memories that are set up in the same exact panel like orientation. It took me like hours to realize, oh yeah, that's just, you should look at that. When every time you unlock a skill, you unlock a new memory, and it's like a conversation you've had, or the character's had, either in his past or sometime more recently. Because the thing is, he's been cryogenically frozen for 30 years, so he came out, and the world has been taken over by demons, and they immediately gave him like the surgery to make him a super ripped anime dude who fights demons.
Why aren't we doing that yet?
I don't know.
Why isn't the NFL full of surgically altered?
Just get him the nanomachines, son.
What are we doing?
Dan, we already legalized sports betting. Within the next decade, somebody's going to be like, "This is for entertainment. Why don't we let them juice as much as they want?"
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna happen. Juicing's not exciting though. Somebody having a third arm, now that's exciting.
We're like 10 years at most away from Blood Bowl.
10, huh? What are they?
Yeah, it'll take 10 for us to accept having spikes on the shoulder pads.
I'm trying to think of like, what do they broadcast this on? Just Twitch? Twitch is we're like, our channel's dying because we can't compete with Blood Bowl.
Literally the event from that Schwarzenegger movie, Running Man.
Oh yeah, the Running Man.
Yeah.
From the Running Man.
Is it called that?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was just the Running Man in whatever the event
I
was.
thought the event was called Chat. I thought the name of the event was the Running Man or something. I could have sworn that was in the movie.
Mm-hmm. It might be.
Chat will let us know, and they might even be right.
Maybe.
Just maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Also, like with any good Metroidvania, you get insanely OP. Maybe more so than they intended.
No,
but it's pretty great.
How's it feel?
Great. But yeah, I cannot say enough good about it. It's great. It looks immaculate. It's some of the best sprite art you will ever see. Go buy it.
Do it.
I played the new game from BioWare developers that's coming out in like a few weeks, Eternal Strands.
It's coming out in 6 days.
6 days. Jesus.
Coming out next Tuesday.
Eternal
I have not heard a
Strands?
single fucking person but us talk about it. It might as well be fair games.
Also, Bob, chat has confirmed it is called The Running Man.
Okay.
I thought so. Because I was like, yeah, that's the name of the show, literally. In the movie. I stress that. I've not read the book.
Right. Who knows what the book does?
The book is very different in a lot of ways about the main character, especially. So, anyone who read the book and then heard Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to be the main character, they're like, oh my God. So, anyways, Eternal Strands.
Eternal Strands,
former BioWare?
Yes, which might become very evident after what I say.
Mike Laidlaw, I think is how you say his name. He was the creative director of Dragon Age for a long time. He left in 2018. But he worked there for like 15 years. Yeah, he was a writer on Mass Effect, lead designer on Dragon Age Origins. I forget what he worked on the other things. He worked on like Dragon Age 4 before it was whatever became Veilguard, and he eventually left. I think it's like, this ain't fucking moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that interview, he's even like, I'm excited to see what they do because it'll be a surprise to me. But the game itself is like a weird mix of Breath of the Wild, Shadow of the Colossus in a crafting like game where you go out into the world, get crafting items, take them back to your home base to make stuff. It's set in a fantasy world that's honestly, it seems incredibly bland with incredible magical things like the veil and the tapestry.
Do you guard the veil?
You don't guard the veil. You go into the veil.
Okay. Chat, brace yourself. I'm about to show you an image of this game. This is not a random picture I've grabbed. This is an important picture off of Steam. This will open your mind as to what a video game can be.
What is that doing on Steam? Yeah, there's different outfits you can craft.
The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, they're so different, right, guys? Depending on which materials you shove into it, it changes the color.
It's neat. That's something.
I feel really bad for this development team because on Blue Sky, I posted I wonder if this game's just going to die on impact because it's out in 2 weeks and nobody is talking about it. And one of the devs showed up and basically said something that to me had the energy of, we're all just staring at the gun on the table.
Yeah.
Oof.
That's where we are. Who's publishing this?
I don't know.
It might not. It might be self-published because I don't think they have I don't think they're doing a physical at all.
Who? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
self-published.
they're publishing
Wow.
themselves. Like no demo on console, no physical version.
And the demo
you
has...
you can't even pre-order it on console yet. Can you pre-order it on Steam?
I don't think so, because Steam
No,
usually
you
doesn't
can
do
only
that.
add it to your wish list. No, Steam will let you pre-order.
I don't know. So many games I've been looking at Steam, it's always like, oh, you can add it to your wish list, but you can't actually buy it.
Yeah,
until day
Steam
of.
lets you pre-order and lets you preload, but like you're out in 6 days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that demo is huge and transfers to the full game, so it not being on consoles kind of really sucks.
It says it's similar to Spider-Man Remastered.
It is not similar to Spider-Man Remastered. I will tell you that right
See,
now.
it says it's similar to Skyrim for me.
Closer than that.
Okay,
Closer than Spider-Man.
So that's really funny because I own Skyrim on Steam, and it's like, don't tell them that.
Don't tell him that. No.
Have you booted that a single time though?
I swear I booted it once, but let me go check. This is the self-publishing, and I feel like did we even see this at an event?
Oh.
No?
Yeah, because they did their own like trailers and stuff through IGN. Like, I don't feel like I ever saw this at events. Maybe once.
Yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, it's the characters, like, designs seem fine, but the writing, every bit of writing in this game seems incredibly bland.
Okay, so
Also, paired with that thing where you see a bunch of dialogue options,
uh-huh.
and then you select one, they say something entirely different.
But
So I'm like, yeah, this is BioWare. Jesus.
BioWare normally is better about that.
It's really bad. I couldn't ever feel,
I
I've
don't
never
know
felt like I
why
selected
all
something.
these I don't know why all these fucking companies can't get on like, hey, if I select a thing, I want it to say that thing, not a different thing. Like, so many games fuck that up now. It's like, hey, you know what you could also do? You could, when I highlight it, show me the actual line I'll say at the bottom as the subtitle.
Right? There are solutions to this.
I'm trying to get some other images to show because I'm tired of showing that image, and I think that's understandable. I think Chad understands that being the first image to hit me in the face of this game is not good. That's such a slow res image. Come on, guys.
It feels like all of the writing is weirdly like, it has that problem. It feels like more modern games are getting of, it doesn't want to affect you in any way.
Yeah, it doesn't want to alienate anyone.
Right,
By doing
and it's
anything too hard.
Like, they have a girl who is upset with you because you're taking over is like the front man out in the field, and you're inexperienced. They have her upset at you for one dialogue. You come back to her the next day after you go do one outing, and she's like, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know what I was thinking. It was like, let her be angry for any time.
Imagine if sitcoms were written like this in the 90s. They'd be like, this character's entire trope is they're a bitch to the main character because they're competing over the same guy. And then one episode later, they're like, she got over it. Her thing now is nothing.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah, that's kind of every big Western game now. Like, I don't know if there's like the same style guide they're all pulling off. We're like, nobody can be a dick. The most someone can be is, what's the term?
Petulant,
Like misguided.
temporarily?
The most someone can be is misguided. No one can just be an asshole.
Yeah, no one can just think you're an irredeemable fuck and have ideological differences from you.
Yeah, and I just, like, I'm not experienced with BioWare. Like, were there games like this even before? Because it feels crazy.
No, in fact, that's kind of a big reason why Veilguard got so many mixed reviews from people. Because everybody was so horrible to each other in early Dragon Age games. It kind of fell through a little bit in like Inquisition, but in all the Mass Effect games, in the first 2 Dragon Age games, like, your party members are like have friction with each other constantly.
And while I haven't played Dragon Age Veilguard, we did play Immortals of Avia, which even the racist is treated as like, well, their input's important too.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. It's like
It's fucking strange. What if
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I have no idea how this is appealing to anyone, and yet it
And the
feels like it's
weirdest-
made to appeal to everyone.
And the weirdest thing is this is self-published. I don't get it.
Right. Like, this is their choice. Also, it
So
does that thing
strange.
where it's this full fantasy setting and everyone talks like modern day slang sort of thing, but really lame slang. Like, it feels like they're written as children characters that are bad, that are just badly written children, like what people think children talk like. That's how they feel.
So
even
like
though they're all
literal
fully-
children or like
Yes.
teenagers even?
I guess teenagers.
Okay, so like these are cool, sassy teens in a fantasy setting.
But they're all like over 20.
Mental teenagers.
Yes.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's such a weird style, and I kept playing. I played like 2.5 hours of this game.
This is weird. The more you tell me about this game's energies, its vibes.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that what they have in the actual gameplay department is kind of neat.
Mhm.
If you go out into this big area that's not like auto-generated or anything, it's actually a designed area.
Uh-huh.
You go collect materials and go do missions, and you come back and upgrade your gear. And then sometimes there's a boss fight that has like a Shadow Colossus style monster where you climb around and break off points. I was like, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
It does a lot of ways feel like you have the climbing on anything like you do in Breath of the Wild.
Okay, cool.
You've got combat that feels super inspired by Breath of the Wild, but feels worse in every way because, of course, it does. Like, you're not Nintendo. Even if Breath of the Wild is not that great combat-wise, it feels a lot better than this.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That's my least favorite part of Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, imagine you had a 3-hit combo that just doesn't hardly moves you forward.
I don't wanna. How
Yeah.
about that?
It looks like completely limp. That's your
No.
combat.
No. Just no.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
wanna.
it's pretty lame. The big thing that makes it different is all the magic powers you get. Like, you have an ice beam you shoot out and can like
Iceman from the X-Men movies.
yes, like Iceman. You can't. Maybe eventually you'll be able to like actually make a pathway to walk on like that. Because right now, like, all I can do is like freeze the ground, and it piles up on the ground, and you can stick enemies in it, that sort of thing. But you can't seemingly make an ice bridge,
Ah, that's unfortunate.
which is like, obviously that's what I would want to do.
Is ice your main element?
It's the one you start with. You start with ice and kinetic energy, so I've messed with those two. But you have a giant wheel, so it's going to be filled out. I've seen fire. I know you can get that by killing the dragon in the demo,
Cool.
which I didn't do. But then the kinetic energy, you can literally grab guys, throw them around, stuff like that. Which a lot of times the combat was more of like, oh, there's a cliff. I'm just going to take you over there.
Take you off the cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you don't get the items they drop because they're on the bottom.
Real quick question. You're playing this on your PC with the 1080 Ti.
Yes.
How did it run?
I was able to get it running okay. Like, it ran like between 50 and 60.
Cool.
Yeah. So
1440p, 1080p.
it was 1440p, but it was
Okay.
doing like TAA to
So not
real 1440p.
not real 1440p, but
It didn't seem to find a way to
TAA.
find it off, turn it off switch on it, which is always great.
cool. Any idea if this is Unreal Engine or something else?
I don't know.
It's Unreal 5 with all the bullshit.
Of course.
Cool.
At least they were able to run it down enough for me to get it to run at all.
Yeah, no, just like Marvel Rivals is running it on Unreal Engine 5, and at least it runs well on things.
Right. But yeah, I would probably keep playing it if the story wasn't so bland.
Yeah.
Like, that kills it so much.
Not
There's
this-
so
Wonder
much
how
of
much
it.
they're charging for this.
You need to either have really good gameplay or you need to staple your bad gameplay to a good story. Stapling your middling gameplay to a bad story makes you worthless.
Yeah, it feels like if you just got out of the way and just got rid of the story, it would be better. That's what they're coming in at.
The
Which
price
a
for
lot
this is apparently $40.
okay. At least they know that they need to charge
Okay,
under
that's-
60.
Yeah.
That's a good spot to be. I don't know if it's gonna help them because I don't know if anybody knows this game exists.
Yeah.
But with $40, at least if somebody big picks it up and likes it, there's the possibility of getting a big word of mouth bump, which you can't get with a $70 game.
Right.
because it's $70.
They was
Anytime you tell someone I'm really excited about the $70 games, they go, yo, I don't want to get robbed. I know, because I had people say that over Dynasty Warriors Origins, and I'm like, sure, but this is like one of the greatest video games of the last 2 decades, so I'll do it. Which is definitely what Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei will be as well.
Oh yeah. I'm so excited as I am for Yotei. I'm like, it's not going to be Dynasty Warriors.
No, there is no fucking way. I will be so happy if it's somehow better than Dynasty Warriors Origins. There is no way, though.
There's no way.
There's no way. Could you imagine? Holy shit, that would be Sony's best game in years.
It would. Easily.
Jesus.
I can't remember if there's anything else really unique about it.
How's the music? Is there music?
It's there.
Remember
at least,
music?
I don't remember it, but I know that it played.
I was like, yeah, there was a man in the room. Describe him. I can't.
Which is the Western, like...
See, Mass Effect beat that, but Dragon Age never did.
It's fantasy. They can't. They're not allowed. Even though they put Marilyn Manson in the trailer, they can't give it good music.
They put Marilyn Manson in the trailer for this game no one knows about.
No, for Dragon Age.
Oh, for Dragon. Okay.
God, if they... Jesus.
Yeah, I was so confused. I'm like, what year is it?
Right, way out of year line. Then the story is like this. What are you talking
what
about?
are we
Shouldn't
doing?
it be the edgiest thing ever made?
I don't get it. Everything you said about the story makes me sad, but I really want to see this game when it comes out.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of neat systems going on. It's like I'd like to play more of it to see how that turns out. There's a bunch of it is like, okay, you can... Every piece of equipment you can make takes 4 different types of materials, and you can use any material of that type, and it'll just upgrade the damage and stuff based on that.
Oh, cool.
Which is neat. Or like some materials will be better at fire resistance and that sort of thing. Like this could pan out and be interesting. We will see. We won't see.
I don't know. Chad may want us to. Our bar is going to be, is it better than Unknown 9 Awakening? That'll be the bar.
It's not a hard bar to cross.
No.
I think you can do it.
No, I think they can manage. They can vault over this one tiny hurdle.
It has a lot of the cutscenes are just animated. Like they got some company to make just full-on animated cutscenes, which is neat. Which American or Western animation so really varies in quality, kind of like Castlevania, where it's like, yo, that looked pretty cool. Whoa, what are we doing? Why is it now like 2 frames a second?
It goes from really good looking to like Spider-Man make your own comic from 1996. Like, whoa, one moment. Why is a MIDI playing? Yo. So do you think this has a PS5 Pro mode?
Maybe. I don't know. I could only play on PC. Again, was transferring save to a version I don't even want to play.
Oh, good. Great.
Because of course my PS5 will run this better than my PC.
Yes, of course it will.
So yeah, get a PS5 demo out. What's up? What is this?
We were just hoping we could launch and no one would notice and we could go home.
Yeah, that's how it feels.
It's so crazy that this game didn't show up at a major conference.
Mm-hmm.
And that this studio has some amount of hype in it notionally because Mass Effect vets.
And apparently people from Ubisoft as well. Like it was supposed to be like one of those studios, the convergence of all these industry people who had to leave their other companies.
And yet, I find it weird they also got enough money to self-publish.
I know, right? Like that must have been invested by someone, like someone high up the company just bankrolling it.
Or, getting enough banks to back it with them, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But that's all I got to say about Eternal Strands.
Someone in chat says, I need a game with a demo that will only... It sounded like you said Eternal Trans. I need a game with a demo that will transfer saves only to the deluxe version or something like that, so someone will get shot.
Jesus.
You want to get visited by a plumber? Here's a good way. Bob, did you play anything else?
I played a couple other demos.
Okay, let's go.
I played Super Puzzled Cat.
Oh, I've heard of Super Puzzled Cat.
Super Puzzled Cat's really good.
Tell me all about Super Puzzled Cat.
So it's a small platformer that's all based on having a bunch of different powers that you pick up in the stage. Like, imagine Super Meat Boy, but instead of like trying to fast play get to a level, it's just this level is tiny and you have pickups, like one pickup that turns you from a cat girl into an actual cat. A pickup that turns you into rubber. Pickup that turns you into a ghost. And you have to try
Ghost powers.
Yeah, ghost powers. You have to find ways to get through these areas, get the coin in the level, and get to the yarn ball, which ends the level. And sometimes there's a hidden fish. They jump out of the water and you can catch them.
That sounds rather puckers.
It even has the Meat Boy thing where you finish your run and it shows you all the times you died, like on the replay.
Neat.
It has a feature where any point in the level you can make a save point. So you just like, okay, I got halfway through this, hit that button, and then if I die, I can just go right back to that.
Okay, cool.
Which is pretty neat. You can even do that midair. Like, there's no animation to it. It's just literally like any time you can be like, yeah, it's time for a save point right here. So I can try this one thing over and over again.
Cool.
They also, it has a great sense of humor. A lot of times in the areas you are likely to die, there'll be a billboard put up that's like got a joke on it of some sort. Like, oh man, wouldn't it be great if a secret was down here? Hit the replay button. Really good, nice art style. Like, plays chippy little cat, was all pixel arted. You get stuff like a power up to get you a jetpack. In the first place you use it, you are very likely to crash it into a ceiling and die.
Ooh.
So you have to realize, okay, I need to jetpack up into this small hole so the jetpack falls off of me and then I can fall down to the ground. Or if you have jetpack in the gum, which turns you into rubber, you can bounce all around with it. It's really funny. And then you're getting the coins and locks up in the cat shop, which gets you more abilities. Like, one of the abilities I got was binoculars. It lets you look around the area, and you literally, like, the little cat person takes out the binoculars and looks around. Jesus. Yeah, it's really good. I was worried for a moment this came out last year, but no, the demo came out last year. It came out like last week or something.
Oh, good. I don't need that. I don't need that in my life.
But yeah, anytime having a cat girl that gets a power up that turns into a regular cat is way too funny.
No, that's fantastic.
You also get that headband you see in that picture where you just do a shoryuken.
Ooh.
And all these power ups are like a one-time use, so you have to be very conservative and know exactly where to use them. But yeah, try Super Puzzled Cat.
There's a demo?
There is a demo. That's what I played.
It's on Steam.
It is.
Whoa.
I have to wonder if they'll take it to anything else.
I like the face on the coin here. It's really good.
There are many good faces. Like, the main character is always doing like that. When she's not jumping, she's always just got her tongue slightly stuck out, kind of like
she's blepping.
Yeah, like various logos have done it. Like, I think Maruchan does it and stuff, where the mascots that have the tongue like sticking out to the left side.
Oh, one of those.
Like licking their lip, sort of looking.
Uh-huh.
And that's what she's always doing.
That's good.
In the last demo I played, Mind Wave. It's all one word. It's all caps.
This sounds like a 7th gen shooter. I forgot.
It is a WarioWare mixed with a visual novel, which has an art style like Pizza Tower. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Another one was a demo you should go try, because I can describe it, but it's like, man, that style. It's hard to even get in a picture. There's so much line detail. It's all made for mouse and keyboard, so they're switching between those for the different mini games.
Okay, Bob, I've looked up Mind Wave, and this is what.
That's it. You found it.
This is the game.
You got it. This is it. This is the game.
Can I edit out the white and then just put it on Chris?
That feels like what you would play Lifeline with.
It's true. This is the only headset designed for Lifeline. So, Bob, Mind Wave? Mind Wave?
Yeah. So it's on Steam.
I'm going to type game. There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
But yeah, you play as someone who's won basically a golden ticket to a gaming tournament that's the game's played with their mind. They plug in this thing and like a USB drive into their head, and then they connect brains and do micro games against each other.
Cool. This sounds great.
And then between those battles, there's like a thing where you walk around and talk to anyone in a like a little zone, which it feels kind of like the Danganronpa, like a 3D environment. You kind of look around, but you don't get to actually explore it. You literally just turn your head left and right and click on guys to talk to them.
I see.
And the demo was limited how many people I could talk to before the next part would start. So I actually ended up talking to everyone except for the person that I would have to mind jack and do a mind game or micro games with. So I didn't get to see their deal before doing that. The micro games switch between the keyboard, the mouse, and then you know how halfway through like a mini game set in WarioWare, it'll be like speed up, and difficulty increase. The difficulty increase in this one is like it also starts spawning like ads on screen, like pop-up ads from early internet days. You have to like click those off as they're trying to do different micro games because they're getting in your way pretty severely.
Cool. This looks really fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's great. And the writing seems solid too. Like that's interesting stuff. It turns out write interesting characters.
Yeah.
That's incredibly important.
Yeah, it's a really good tip for writers. If you could write interesting characters, that would be good.
Write anything except what showed up in Eternal Strands. Jesus.
Well, I don't know. Immortals of Avium is right over there. It's
the same thing.
Oh.
It's the same thing.
Jonan Vasquez Core says, chat. You don't say.
Yeah, it definitely is.
You don't say this one shot alone is the most insanely Jonan. I mean, those are literally the exact color choices for background designs in Invader Sim. I'm sure it's coincidental. There's no way they've ever seen Invader Sim.
It's all so smoothly animated too. It's crazy. And the micro games, just like WarioWare, will go really different with the styles. Like there was one that was literally it's like looks like a boomer shooter now.
Good. I'm glad that over time WarioWare proved the justice of our culture.
Yeah, now that Nintendo's not making them, someone has to.
They're technically still making them.
They just do weird ones where they're not like what you want. They're like, oh yeah, play as this character doing micro games. Like, no. The micro game needs to be its own thing.
They also did that one not too long ago that I think was basically a repackaging of an earlier one.
You did that one on the 3DS, but there was one where you shake it. Like one with a lot of shaking elements on the Switch, which I did not try.
Smooth Moves 2 is basically,
which might be good.
Yeah, that might be good. I want to know. Didn't try it. I bought the one before it, and I was like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's one of them's a magical girl transformation. You screw it up, you turn into a fish.
Oh hell yeah. Is it out?
No. The demo is out.
Okay.
And it's like, I think they're on Kickstarter, and I think it's allegedly coming out this year. We'll see. I feel like that never turns out like that, but we'll see.
This time will be different.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I should just make him saying that, the wow command. Yeah. Wow. Yes.
I'm always in support of having more Aqua Team bits on our streams.
God damn it. I can't win this battle. It's just all of our content will trend Aqua Teen until I'm dead.
Aqua Team becomes more real every year.
I wish it didn't. That show hasn't run in years. It should become less real. Anything else, Bob?
No, that's it. You know, there's also a demo for Blade Chimera. If you don't believe me, you can try that.
Yeah.
Just showing it out there.
He's just throwing it out there, okay. Podcast since Aqua Teen Hunger Force mentioned counter reset. It was at 0. It's still at 0.
Right?
It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Oh, wow.
Nothing but Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm almost to the point where I can start the game because I've done every single sub-story already.
Yeah! See,
No, I'm
Bob?
sorry. I've only done 32 out of 54
Oh, my God.
in chapter 4.
You're getting there, though. See, this is exactly what I did on stream. Yes. This is the intended method.
Oh, okay, so I'm just going to go right into some degree of spoilers.
Okay, I'm going to play the spoilers song.
Sure.
There it is.
It is so fucking ludicrous that Kazuma Kiryu, a character that has smoked constantly in every game you see him in across 30 years. No, I'm sorry, 35 years. They have to include a fucking flashback where he saves a guy from getting sprayed by toxic waste and gets sprayed by toxic waste himself, and that is why he has cancer in this game.
Yeah, it's really goofy.
That is fucking insane.
It's like if you spent an entire year of podcasts listening to me be like, oh, we went to Cookout every podcast day. And then eventually I'm like, oh, I went like 2 times this week. And then eventually I'm like, yeah, I basically go there every day. And then next year it's revealed in the upcoming GigaBoots movie, I'm fat as hell, not because of that, but a tub of lard landed on me.
Right.
It was the only way out.
Freaking Batman story arc.
That does sound like a Batman story arc. That sounds like a 90s Batman movie origin.
Yes.
I know Dan played in English, I played in Japanese because this is the culmination of the whole Kiryu shit, and I'm sorry, I'm going to hear his actual voice actor and not fucking Yang Yi. Like, sorry, bro, you weren't here for 20 years.
You gotta turn it back though, and you gotta listen to English Majima.
Oh my god.
But what I truly love is the Japanese track they're getting close to Tekken, which I feel like is what Like a Dragon needs to go for.
Yes.
Where it's like the characters just fucking talking their native language. Cause already, like all the barks that you had bore into your brain, those are still there in the Japanese track. They're just in English.
And then, oh wait, I can't talk about that. Chapter 4.
And certain characters that are American who would be speaking in English will speak in English.
Oh. And it's actually like intelligible. It's not like English or something.
Yes, it's not Englishy. I presume it's the exact same track in both.
Yeah, I assume.
It makes sense.
Like
Yeah.
I assume at least some angle of this was we can just like do half and half and then use both in each.
That reminds me, on that Distotech stream, they brought up they were bringing over that Lupin movie directed by Ryuhei Kitamura,
Yeah.
which I didn't know that half of that's in English.
The value.
Right? I'm like,
Holy shit.
Oh no.
Kitamura, for the audience sake, if you could explain.
The director of Versus and
Action director on Devil May Cry, right?
no.
No.
Action director for Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes cutscenes.
There we go.
Trying to think
The
of
much beloved Twin
Yes,
Snakes.
Yes. Everyone loves those cutscenes.
Everyone loves them.
I feel like there's some. Oh, right. Godzilla Final Wars. Director on that.
Yes. But yeah, no, I think it's really great that we are just doing the Tekken thing, Chris.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
By the way, can I stop the spoiler sound, or are we gonna keep diving?
Yeah,
in?
go ahead. I'm not going to talk anymore.
Yeah,
I've barely gotten to the story. I've just done 35 sub-stories.
Oh, don't
And maxed out every mini game it keeps handing me.
don't worry. I stopped playing the game right before what I consider are the major spoilers of the game. So the last 20 hours of that stream is me going, oh my God, how did I stop right before this? And people were like, yeah, that's why I was going insane that you wouldn't come back to this game.
There is one thing. There is one thing. There is a little spoilersy, but don't play the fucking spoilers music. Did chat go insane when you met the bartender? Did they tell you
no,
about
they
the
told
bartender?
me. I know,
Good.
I know. If you would
I'm not
explain
even
to Bob,
sure
though.
if it's actually the okay. So, one of the two major antagonists in Yakuza 3 is a giant, huge white dude who uses twin guns and looks like Wesker.
Okay.
He gets shot multiple times and then thrown off a high-rise building.
Okay.
The bartender in Yakuza 8 and Like a Dragon 8 looks identical to him.
Identical.
What?
It is unclear as of now if they are the same person.
Good.
I assume it is just a joke because another plot point in Yakuza 3 is no, Kiryu, that's not your adoptive father. That's his twin brother that never came up and he never mentioned.
The bar he runs, if I'm remembering correctly, Survive Bar.
No, it's Revolve.
Oh,
Survive is the
Revolve?
other one.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
These are really good bar names. Unlike local bars like Twin Peaks. That's actually more Hooters-like establishment, just to be clear. I'll be right back.
So part of the reason that I waited so long to play this was really just that I don't think Yakuza 7 was a great turn-based RPG.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I think its pacing, like, I don't think combat moved fast enough. There were multiple points where it's just like, okay, next thing in the story is 15 levels higher, and it's like, you didn't put anything for me to get those levels. And he's like, fucking figure it out.
So is this
and
better
this
about
doesn't
that?
feel this. Yeah, this is much better about this. This doesn't feel like it's going to have that.
Yeah, where you were able to do that many side missions, I assume that will level you up.
Most of them don't give you experience. They give.
Oh no!
Oh, that was a coughing fit.
Oh geez.
Okay, I'm good now.
All right.
Yeah, mostly side quests give you items, or they'll give you access to a mini game, or they will give you stats for your metaphor style personality traits.
Okay.
But yeah, side quests in Yakuza haven't given you experience since like 5.
Wow. That's weird. Do you still get
Yeah,
stronger through these other systems then? Like, do you get money or something?
Yes, and sometimes they'll have like a fight, 1 or 2 fights in them that give you a lot of experience compared to average fights.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really, this feels like it has a lot more money than the franchise has had in a while. Like, it feels like they went, yeah, we're actually going to lean into the fact that we have a bigger Western audience now, without completely throwing away every other thing that the franchise has going for it. I do actually kind of expect that we'll get more of this. Half is in somewhere in America, and the other half is Japan.
The half is going to be in Milwaukee, right? They're going to get fucking Red Letter Media to be characters.
Hey, I'm already scared that Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii will have Majima meets Mr. Beast.
That is so
As a
possible.
sub-story.
It's mortifying. But yeah, no, if you do the Milwaukee thing, you could get random enemies in Milwaukee voiced by Rich Evans. Oh, Jesus Christ!
If we do that, we need to have like that hard edge weapon style, like super heavy Milwaukee accent. Like,
what's the job that gives you the hard-edged weapons to rush them with? Jesus Christ!
Nice knife. I don't want to put the knife down.
It's a good knife. I got this as a souvenir. I ain't putting it down. I'm sorry for anyone who doesn't watch Red Letter Media. That fucking hard-edged weapon survival video is insane.
You could have a whole set of weapons from that in Yakuza, and it would be fitting, honestly.
That's true.
Just like the hat with razor blades on it.
It's just... It's just hard to imagine Ichiban running around with a dude literally stabbing people with hard-edged weapons.
I saw you play. One of them literally like, oh, I'm a kunoichi. I have a knife.
Yeah, and I'm an honorable hero. I have a bat with nails in it.
Yes.
This is the box cutter of honor.
But yeah, there's a lot of delightful callbacks that Dan didn't get fully appreciate, like when you get the summon system, Pound Mates, where you call on the phone and pay money for an assist. The giant ripped chick, who's the first one, is the daughter of a guy Kiryu fought in almost every game.
Oh.
Who's this big buff boxer who always is in the underground arena named like Buster Holmes.
Yeah,
Gary Buster Holmes. And I guess now he's just George Foreman because obviously the big boxer dude, giant ripped daughter who is also a boxer, is obviously
yeah, okay, all right,
like a George Foreman reference. What a good game, what an upgrade. I like that now, I guess it's just the rule now that if you're making a sequel to your big RPG, you have to be able to ride a Segway.
Yeah, no, that's important. You're on a beach, ride a Segway. I missed the memo. Was there a giant Segway?
We didn't get Segways in Destiny.
Yeah, I feel like the Panhandle of Florida didn't really follow that rule, but both 7 Rebirth and Like a Dragon 8
right, maybe it just literally is a Hawaii thing.
You need to ask Rig.
Yeah.
Retro Island Gaming.
He would
know. Why did I not think to ask him? Segways were a bit of a thing for a minute. I assure you, if that's true, it was not when they were developing these games.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, when they first announced it, it was like, God, what did they call it? It had some project name, and everyone's like, what is it? It's the future of transportation. It's going to change our lives. And then with the Segway, it's like, this sucks.
Yeah,
this really sucks. Oh, no.
It's like, imagine, chat, that the Hyperloop even remotely got made. That's what it felt like.
Yes.
A little bit.
Still remember the South Park episode making fun of it.
Oh yeah, where you have to suck the thing's dick to ride it around.
Yes.
But it saves so much money. So much cheaper than an airplane. Like a Dragon 8's great.
I like how Ichiban gets to Hawaii and immediately meets a cop more evil than any other character in the entire series immediately, like instantly. It's like, yeah, that's just how American cops are.
He's fucking in America now.
Yeah.
Realism. If there's one thing I really love about Like a Dragon 8's writing, it is that it is very, very realistic. Chat, do not call them evil Germa cop. I'm reasonably sure that dude was just
that's a different character.
Okay.
You do beat him up though, and he fixes the problem for you. That boss fight is really funny because it takes place in a bar full of shit, so everybody was just beating him with chairs the entire fight.
That was great. That was an awesome scene. It was so good.
Especially because if you get hit with props too many times, you get stunned and don't get to do anything for like 3 turns.
Yeah, it was literally just silly hats only in that fucking room for me.
I think I was there for that part. I think I
should have been. Yeah, it would have been right after you go down that weird bum alley.
Yeah, where it was filled with like extra high level dudes, and you're like, I need to avoid some of these.
Like, hey, what's up? Bye.
Yeah, that's my only real complaint with it so far, is that the method you use to determine how strong guys are is not good enough.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's a combination of color and size of icon. So it's like, so I'm squinting, I'm like, okay, does that mean they're 4 levels above me or 12? Because one of these I can deal with. But yeah, it's a really great polished game.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, hopefully I'll have beaten it within, by the time. I mean, I almost get. I'm gonna be able to start soon. We'll have finished the preliminary phase where I do every single piece of side content before I touch the main story at all. Although I haven't gotten Dandoko Island yet, so we'll probably spend 20 hours there.
I'm sure you won't get invested in Dandoko Island.
Yeah, there's no way you'll just get wholly absorbed by Dandoko Island.
Yeah, I definitely don't spend like 5 hours hunting bears every time I play Yakuza 5 and get to the part where they introduce the bear hunting minigame.
Oh, that sounds great. That sounds awesome.
Does sound pretty.
Why don't Western games have more weird side content like hunting?
Because they aren't made entirely of previously made assets. So all the time gets spent on remaking shit they probably already had.
I'm like, that sort of thing used to be there. Like Far Cry 3 had that sort of thing.
I mean, the thing about GTA is that it has a ton of mini games and side content gameplay stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's its success.
I mean,
That's hard to do,
4
though.
didn't. Like, they had to bring it back in 5 because 4 had so little of that kind of thing.
But in 4, you have to keep going bowling with your
I
brother
was like,
or
they
with
made
your
a few of
cousin.
them. Yeah, you do all those dates with bowling, darts. I feel like those might be the only two mini games.
Those are the only two I can think of. Chat, please help us.
Someone in chat did point out that, man, the opening of that game is brutal for 2 entirely different reasons. I'm sure Dan was just smiling watching the world's worst fumble on a date.
I was
Being like, yes, this is that cringe that I love.
And Bob's just like, no. I should go pull up the VOD to see what the screen cap of that moment looks like. Jesus.
I appreciate that after Like a Dragon, like Yakuza 7 had the moral of, you're morally justified to beat the shit out of Puritans who are harassing people. That this game seems to have the moral, internet sleuths should simply be killed.
It's true. And I'm like, wow. It speaks to me.
I agree. We should hit those people with a bat. I think that's all I have. Yeah, because like I said, it's mostly like I'm in chapter 4.
Right.
Mhm.
You've just begun.
Yeah, I've just begun. Probably 10 levels higher than the next story thing I'm going to do, with 40 fucking side quests out of 54 done.
And that reminds me, in Dynasty Warriors, we did that like 12 hours of streaming. We got to chapter 3. We beat Hulao Gate.
Yeah.
That's it.
13 hours of streaming to get to Hulao Gate. By the way, I looked up the exact moment that Ichiban collapses to his knees. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Jesus.
What a great moment that was. It was like a free episode of Watamote. Oh, man. You're gonna find Tadara Hisoka and you're gonna feed her into like a fucking what do they call
A
them?
wood chipper?
Yeah, just feed her into a wood chipper and she's actually made of cardboard. And she shoots her out of the back end. She's like, oh no.
I mean, there's that sub story about a reporter who's just actively being like, yeah, I make up fake shit. It's like, what if I fucking killed you? What about that? What if that?
Have you ever thought I will kill you? Because I will do that. Really, really makes you think, doesn't it?
The bat's really good at that.
Anything else to talk about?
No, I don't think so. That's really been where every single bit of my time went, although I do intend to play a couple other things, little tiny things when I'm done or between now and the next Big Think Dimension.
Like Super Puzzled Cat.
No, that came out this year. I was thinking of God, what was it called? No Case Should Remain Unsolved, because that's like 4 hours long and was like on half the Japanese devs top 10 list last year.
Jesus Christ.
It is $7 on Steam.
Jesus Christ.
Visual novel?
Almost definitely with that.
Right.
It seems to be like a little visual novel type, like menu based game. It's framed differently than a visual novel. Like I think it's like a lot of like IMs and instant message type framing.
Okay.
As I said earlier, we're finally getting to that Devil May Cry 3 on Switch stream on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very exciting. The ultimate version of Devil May Cry 3 for the ultimate Devil May Cry 3 enjoyer. We all hope you really look forward to this stream. We've been looking forward to it for a while. We're keeping up the tradition. Anyway, and a reminder again, I will unstealth Timer Chan when we come out of the pod lord. Timer Chan will be invisible that stream for technical reasons that you will discover then. Chris, do you have any plans coming up other than chugging games for Game of the Year?
I will stream if my cough goes away. But considering I had a huge coughing fit that left me silent 15 seconds while you were out of the room, it has not subsided yet.
Okay.
Is it coming? Is it approaching?
I'm trying to do like a metaphor song.
Yeah, you're getting a good
A
start.
little bit of a too Tibetan sound to it. I need to sound more possessed. Man, that soundtrack's good.
It's really good.
That's good. You know what else is good?
Is it them?
It's the Podlords.
Ah! They love Ghostbusters.
They love ghosts. And why would it? Why wouldn't the Podlords love Ghostbusters? Jesus. Bob,
Yeah.
I hope one day someone who owns the rights to Ghostbusters watches this and they're like, hey, wait, that's the song, but it isn't. What's the deal with that? Oh my God, Agro's
not going to jail again.
he can get double jailed. Agro, how did you get sealed into this title card?
We found him.
Yes, that's right. The Podlords. Podlords such as BN12, Red Blaze 27, Suzu Shiro, Rado,
However many shades of whatever. I'm tired.
WTF Spider-Man, Mr. I Like Spam.
ReZero Season 3 returns. Time to find out if this was her plan.
Why? Why has this happened?
I assume her hair is naturally white, but the rest I assume the eyes and
Yeah, the rest is... Wait, maybe even the eyes are red. Wait, no, they're pink, I think. Come on.
I got this far because let me tell you, chat, that the dynamic of Big Think Dimension is real different with Acro missing. I forgot I'm not even beaming Chris the fucking video. Hey, Chris, would you like to see things? I can fix this.
oh, I had a Twitch. I had a Twitch thing open, so I saw it
okay.
on a delay.
That's true. That's true. Oh well. Anyways, if you want that, then there you go. What's wrong, Bob?
It's fine.
Fine.
She probably deserves it.
Muck Bun, Shiny Mew, Chris C. Bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with a side of hash browns and a large juicer frost.
Cooper Tank. Live service.
Yeah.
Ain't
That's too much activity.
It is.
They're particles. All sorts of atoms vibrating there. That's not
Yeah,
accurate.
you need it. You need it like after the first snow after the fucking dumpster burn.
Indigo Sykes, Foul Gotharita.
Dr. Agro, have you in fact frolicked? I don't think if Agro were to do something you might identify as frolicking, I don't think most people would identify him doing that as frolicking. I hope that came across. I'm gonna guess no, it was cold as hell.
Right.
As a support main, Shinji16 would like to say, haha, cope malt seed, stay mad, nom nom, we're going on a field trip. Shinji, you're just, is this a terrorist arc? First it was spider pictures, now you're like, I'm a Jeff main.
Jesus. Couldn't you main any other support?
Apparently not.
A raccoon wondering what you will have for a drink. That is a fancy raccoon.
Yes. He's ready to serve, I guess.
His eyes have such emotion behind them, such history. If you like Gunstar Heroes, check out Bungayo to keep blowing shit up.
I'm sorry. That's so far removed. Jesus.
Yeah, you wouldn't go with Alien Soldier? That feels like the closest.
Nope, Bungayo.
analog. Like they even both have 7 force.
Fact. Bob, I told you that Sega Lord X, man who expresses many opinions about video games, actually expressed an opinion that made me go, what?
Mm-hmm.
He said he was disappointed by Mischief Makers.
Right.
I cannot imagine playing that game and being disappointed. Many things, sure. Disappointed. Then again, wait, this Podlord isn't shilling Mischief Makers. What the hell? Now I'm disappointed. Corporate acquisitions ruin everything they touch, and folks knew that 50 years ago. It's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same as it ever was.
Sarlene. Rivals of Aether 2 added their first free new character, Big Goddamn Polar Bear with Ice Armor install. That sounds delightful.
That is fun.
You can't just make me pull something out on a short notice. Fuck. Here's the paper I made for the Slender Plan bit. I like that you can just barely see the scar you've drawn on the chin.
Yeah,
right?
you can kind of see that he has the haircut.
The way it's drawn makes me think it's part of Deadly Premonition.
Or that this is in the Blair Witch.
Yes, one of those two.
No. We find this note in a cabinet and we're just like, oh, what does it mean? Posting the flagship Monsters Until Wilds, here is Glavidus the Scorching Blade. It's honestly hard to size him up because the most interesting attributes of him are just barely out of frame.
Right. It's like, I want to see the whole tail or the
And
head.
his face. They're gonna ask me to identify him from a lineup later, and I won't be able to. Matty Mo. Cleochrome. Wow. 50 Emrakuls. This new Magic the Gathering set is wild. I'm just staring at this, trying to make sure it isn't a terrible bit.
I know, right? But we're conditioned for.
I'm a broken man. 1,400 calorie spaghetti parmesan jump scare.
Jesus.
Spaghetti parmesan.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess it's under the cheese.
It's hidden.
Right.
I don't understand. Are those meatballs? Are they
It
fried
looks like
somehow?
meatballs. It looks
Yeah.
like meatballs.
Yeah, I think it's just meatballs and like.
A thick ass layer of cheese on top of spaghetti. And it's 1,400 calories.
Because it's a massive pile of spaghetti.
These Podlords cannot be funnier to be together. I'm better now, but I never want to have a case of food poisoning like that ever again.
The spaghetti, no.
Forbidden spaghetti.
Right?
Virmvarm. Heracles.
Yeah, he's pretty big in that.
Dan
I think
leading.
they finally put in a non-insane version of him into Fate Grand Order because
Really?
in Fate Stay Night he's like summoned as a berserker, so his rationality is gone and he's like a big monster man.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Dan leading the boys into hell. Lost Universe.
You say that was bleach filler.
I know, right?
Jesus.
Which one of these is better, Bob? I'll tell you, Lost Universe.
Yeah, Lost Universe is better than some bleach filler. I don't know if it's better than Bountar.
It's not better than certain characters working at a convenience store, but
Right.
you know, there's a lot of delight there. Podlords, in these weather conditions at this time of day on this Wednesday, localized entirely within this podcast segment? Yes. I really love that you got the Florida sign with snow
Right.
all around it. That's perfect. The goat is back. Ma! There's a weird fucking cat outside! I like changing the text for this same image.
Yeah, no, it works. That is a really weird cat.
It is! Cryptid bird. Digital basic. Oh, hell yeah. It's really strong. Koruru,
but edgy.
I misspelled her name last time.
Don't admit it.
I don't remember what part of the story this one is from. Huh.
Macross is finally sort of available in USA Weeaboos.
Why did that sentence end with weeaboos?
I don't know. That's a be Wii Boomers.
It'd be a Wii Boomers. And we can't ever do a Wii Boomers on Macross because it'll be 4 hours long because I'm going to come like a fucking lawyer, open my briefcase and be like, what is that company's?
Harmony Gold.
Harmony Gold. It would just be the Harmony Gold call-out podcast. It would
there-
also transition into fuck Sony because they're involved.
And also Harmony Gold would somehow get our video claimed on YouTube.
Thank you very much.
To our Podlords.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thank you, Podlords!
Thank you, Podlords. And if you'd like to be a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcasts. You get such benefits as early access to Pokemon Go to the movies for less than 2 months.
Just the tiniest bit longer.
How much longer? I wonder.
Chugging early access to Chugging Bleach, extended content for other shows we do, a patron-funded show one a month, where we watch a public show where we watch a bad thing and patrons get a commentary track, or a private show where we watch a good thing and patrons get to vote on what good thing we watch. Also, an entire movie called Isolation 119. It is a real, actual movie, a fully linked feature film, only available on the GigaBoots podcasting network, about a man going to Thailand to solve the injuring of his brother. Patreon.com/GBpodcast.
We got a little bit of news.
A little bit.
Just a little bit, like a sprinkling. Let me go ahead and just set up Timer Chan here real quick, because people, they're Twin Peaks and over here. They're like, how's Timer Chan? How's Timer Chan? I gotta make sure they know how is Timer Chan. So, and don't worry if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I'm tired of this Timer Chan bit. You don't have to manage several spreadsheets. You do not get to grouse. They're like, yes, I do. I don't get paid. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Well, perfect in that it's done already. I don't know if the number is satisfactory, but that's not my problem. Let's get over here. Boop. 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 It's up in the upper right corner.
Well, watch out for her.
Should we just start with everything horrible?
Let's do it!
Why is it always like this?
Yeah!
Woo!
And the volume dial works this week, so no one's going deaf from the Aladdin music.
Thank God. God, it was so
That was
bad.
horrible.
How could they do that to us? Okay.
I think the first thing's good news, but it's still
It is good
controlled
news,
burn.
but it's still relevant. Allegedly, according to Jeff Grubb, and then I think actual people who would fucking know what they were talking about corroborated it. Concord scared the shit out of Sony, which how doesn't it when you make literally zero money?
Yeah, you make negative money.
Good job. You invented 400 million in debt.
Yeah.
So that has prompted the cancellation of all these service games. It's now basically like, if they're canceling them all. If they're not canceled yet, they will be.
Yeah, I really do wonder if Fair Games comes out. That's the only one that has any chance. Because it's the only one they've actually announced.
I feel like sheer stupidity could push the Horizon one to the finish line, and then it sells nothing and kills that franchise. Because you can't, oh fuck, get it done, scoop up a Horizon 3.
No.
That shit takes 5 years.
It takes a really long time.
And they've been working on this weird service game, Monster Hunter, for who knows?
Yeah, since probably since the Burning Shores shit shipped.
Right?
At minimum.
But they canceled the Horizon MMO.
Thank God.
The one NCSoft was supposed to be making, they canceled that, which is like, good. Are you insane?
Yeah, there's no way that would have been something
guess
anybody
what?
wants.
Is your name World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy 14? Then there's no oxygen for you in the MMO space.
God. Horizon MMO.
The highly esteemed IP Horizon. People are ready. They're
Sony doesn't
waiting.
seem to understand that Horizon, while higher scale and a better game, exists in the same cultural space as Assassin's Creed. That's why you basically don't see people talk about it the same way you basically don't see people talk about Assassin's Creed. Like, you buy it, you play it every night for 2 months once you get home from work, and then you never think about it ever again. It was there to fill your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Horizon MMO being canceled. Good.
Right.
Bluepoint, having been working on a God of War game that only got greenlit because they had a live service brain disease, fucked up.
Yeah.
Ouroboros nightmare.
Yeah, no.
As it gets
Yeah, we're
greenlit
also-
and canceled because of what it is, the only thing you would let them make.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten really super legitimate confirmation on this, but we're getting a lot of little hints that, like, Sony doesn't have shit for like the next 3 years.
Not surprising.
It was all these service games, like they have Yote, Death Stranding 2, and Wolverine. And Interstellar is so far away it might not exist.
Yep.
Like they don't have a bunch of unannounced first like single player games. It was all this Horizon shit. Service shit. They canceled like 8 unannounced service games.
Yeah, and that's what we said for years.
Saying
like,
this for years.
obviously, these games are taking up the time of the people who would be making the real games you want.
And Naughty Dog themselves said this shit over a year ago when they canceled their fucking multiplayer thing. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, we don't want to be a multiplayer studio. How did we get this far?
I don't know.
This
And
is the dumbest shit in the world.
And the whole time, people are coping with these are just new dev studios doing this. They're still working on the real stuff we want. It's like, no, they weren't. They weren't. Jim Ryan didn't see the future in that.
Yeah.
He didn't see the future being the past.
He didn't see the future being that thing they've been making this whole time, fucking normal video games. Just smart.
Didn't see that maybe you keep making the same kind of thing, maybe you keep making money. Wow. Insane.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names because they're not worth naming. But I
Okay.
did see 1 or 2 games media people getting huffy about armchair executives about this stuff, and I'm like, do you realize that Sony could have picked the dumbest, most self-absorbed, what I like will make the most money dipshits in the world, and they would have turned in better financial results than all this service shit from Sony? Like, do you grasp that things are that bad? Because
Yeah.
I don't think you do. Even in the face of Armageddon, never stop sucking corporate's dick.
Yeah, we could be on Jack 6 and it would be making more money.
Oh yeah. Hands down.
Easy.
Easy. Not hard at all.
Do you realize
fucking
that
absurd.
Sony literally is writing off losses like in $2 to $3 billion?
Like it's absolutely absurd. This was the worst plan they could have made.
And they executed on all
Unironically,
fronts.
millions of wasted man hours.
Oh yeah, and just all those people that have been fired because of it, everything. Like, they've lost so much talent because they've pursued this.
You turned every studio into Naughty Dog. Good job.
Or Bungie. Great.
Yeah, I
this
feel like
is-
Marathon is the only the only technical Sony service game that's going to ship, unless Sony does a state of play within the next month and is like, Fair Games is out in March.
Yeah, I think Fair Games being a new studio gets the momentum push maybe to just barely clear it like Concord did.
Yeah, but we're
And then it'll
we're
have the
already
exact
that.
same result.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have. I will be surprised if Fair
I'm
Games
just-
does well. But again, we
I'm-
haven't seen gameplay. Maybe it's good.
It doesn't
That's
matter.
not something anyone can say about Concord.
I mean, I literally don't think it matters.
I think it matters. Like, if it ends up closer to Helldivers 2 than a Concord, you know?
It could have, like... I feel like its aesthetic and stylings, like with Concord, will completely doom it.
Yeah,
That's
especially
entirely
with the
possible.
Gen AI, the generative AI angle, which automatically gives it a debuff with everybody.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. That's going to be its
And then
number
Sony
one problem.
like, once it becomes fun to dunk on you, you're kind of done unless you manage to shake that off. And Fair Games isn't going to be able to shake that off. They're going to pose and be like, everybody's going to go, ha ha, Concord 2.
Yeah,
Unless it's the most amazing looking game ever made.
Yeah.
but it's
yeah.
the
They
same...
better drop the gameplay trailer and it looks like the obviously fake trailer for Spine.
It's absolutely insane. They salted the earth of their game development studios like this, given that is the strength that put them in the position they got in. This is exactly what we've been saying Jim Ryan was doing the whole time. We had to deal with people constantly saying, no, what are you talking about? Jim Ryan shipped Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, and all these great games. It's like, no, that was the guy before him. He got to be there when it finally shipped. He didn't help it get made. What do you not get? People don't understand this shit. This is why the whole presidential thing goes the way it does, where it's just like, yeah, this shit takes a while to do anything. Most human beings have no understanding of how giant projects take forever to get moving.
Yeah.
Anyways, oh boy, this situation is fucked.
Yeah, it really is.
Sony is so screwed. This is the most fucking up they have done ever for PlayStation. This is worse than the PS3 era now. You
Easily.
thought the PS5 had no games before? Oh boy. Look forward to 2026 through 2028.
We'll show you no games.
Or 2027 and also the PS6. We'll get to that in a minute.
I'm like, will they even keep doing shows like once a year? Like, will they even bother? Like, it'll all be third parties because it has to be because they have nothing.
They're like, be excited for GTA. Bye. Let's move on to the next bit of news.
Okay. The studio behind Unknown 9 has canceled the sequel and done layoffs, admitting the franchise is dead and came nowhere near expectations.
Oh my god!
It sold literally zero.
They had expectations. Of course they did. It was a big
Well, you wouldn't do 700 different projects with it if you didn't expect it to pop off.
But it's based
stupid.
But it's based on a public domain IP and it's big. It's gonna be huge. That inspired Heroes.
We get
And
the
they
most
are-
bland characters known to man.
I know.
And they are
Why don't
allegedly
people love
working on another game with a Bamco IP.
They don't
I
deserve
don't know.
that.
I don't know
there's
what it
none.
could be.
There's none that are bad enough to deserve a game made by these people.
Fact. You could make Dig Dug 3 and I would still be pissed they let you.
Yeah.
I
There
don't
was-
even know what if you're giving these people Ace Combat, that ain't gonna fucking go well.
No. God, no.
Especially since that came out. That's the most recent one has sold 7 million copies. Like that was a big success.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they just take it from whoever made the last one and be like, here's studio that made the biggest bomb we've ever seen.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
It must
But
be
they-
like they're making a Mappy collection because that's all that they can do right and left.
They like that make Ridge Racer, and I just get insanely angry.
Oh, could
Because
you-
this game is made badly on every angle known to man. They just it's an Unreal Engine game.
There's
It's
not
turned on all the whips. It looks terrible. It runs terribly, and there's no good game design ideas anywhere in it.
There's no good music. There's no good cutscenes. The lighting is done wrong in every single one, basically. It's terrible. From the ground up, there is not one good aspect to Unknown 9 Awakening. Unknown 9 Awakening. They shipped it. Let's move on.
Okay. Ooh. I actually didn't know the second part, and then looking it up, it's actually even worse than the secking part.
You're kidding.
Oh my god!
No.
You're kidding.
So Dragon Age the Veilguard director Corinne Bush is leaving BioWare, going to somewhere else in the CRPG space. When I wrote this in, I didn't know the second part. Veilguard underperformed by 50%. The bullet point says selling only 1.5 million, but it did not sell 1.5 million. It had 1.5 million of engagement.
Oh no!
Meaning that includes the EA Ultimate shit.
Wow.
Meaning this game probably didn't sell very much. And 1.5, even by old BioWare standards, is a bomb.
Yeah.
Like, considering how long this was in development and how much money is obviously in it, and it's the longest game the studio ever fucking made somehow, even though they said, we're structuring it like this 25-hour game we made.
We gotta talk. I want a serious talk right now. This is the most I've been able to like bridge the gap with other people, I feel, and just actually act like they do. What the hell's happening? Like, what the hell's going on? Barely anything selling.
Maybe, just maybe, when you do a big song and dance about how Dragon Age 4 is changing its title because it's not going to be anything about what you thought it would be about for 10 years because executives were scared that might scare away a new player, maybe that has negative ramifications for just the sales of your game.
Did this game launch at $70?
Yes, of course it did.
What happened? We have no idea. Why are sales so much worse? What could it mean?
Maybe, like when you tell people, oh, it's not called Dragon Age Dreadwolf anymore, and also Dreadwolf isn't the main villain anymore. It's about these 2 other new characters because an executive won't let us make a sequel to the game from 10 years ago. It's been too long. It has to be a great place to start Dragon Age. Never mind the fact that consoles are backwards compatible now. You don't have to do that anymore. In fact, you can use your new game being a sequel to drive more sales of your old games.
It's true. So it was 70 on console, 60 on PC, which only exacerbates the whole, when I see it's 70, I'll wait for a sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Stop
I expect
selling
them to
$70
cancel,
games.
Like, I expect them to cancel. I don't expect that new Mass Effect to come out. Like, they're doing the thing they always do where they're reassuring people that's not affected by this. And it's like, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guess what? Dragon Age has always sold better than Mass Effect. Always. Every single time.
As someone not especially a fan of either franchise, that's a little depressing.
Yeah.
Guess what? A fantasy game has a bigger audience than a sci-fi themed military shooter.
Yeah.
Even if it's a sci-fi themed military shooter where you can have gay sex.
Yeah, that's kind of depressing to me. I think both are equally valid.
I have to wonder if this is another thing of like, yeah, you pushed it more to an action game. Nope, we didn't like that.
You know what? I love slandering this transition everything to action, so I'm going to go with Bob's take.
Yeah. I'm going to say the number 2 things, the first 2 things, top 2 reasons are the $70 and that. 100%. Stop changing the genre of the franchise and then being confused when people aren't as interested.
I really think that the within the last 6 months of development, actually, it's about something entirely different. It's not. It's like we had to detach it from the setup as much as possible. That also probably pissed people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, people were not happy with that re-reveal trailer.
And the early reception for this game was really critical of the writing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, like I hope Mass Effect 4 comes out. I'm not saying 5 because Andromeda doesn't get to fucking count. It's a spin-off.
No. They need to make sure not to do that.
They need to not have it come up at all if that game ships any part of it at all. It needs to be permanently non-person. That game sold bad and damaged the reputation of your brand. But yeah, like in my I thought this game had done good. Like I thought it had done 3-4 million. Like pretty solid. Like BioWare turned out they did have a little bit of sauce. But no, like with them saying engagement, like this shit bombed. Probably under 1 million is what I'm willing to guess.
Oh yeah. No,
because remember, like if you have Game Pass Ultimate, I bet you get this because they have the EA Ultimate shit comes with that.
Like when this came out, it was all quiet on the frontier. No one's out there hooting and hollering. Oh, this is so great. This is so great. And like numerous people, fucking anything comes out and you see that to some extent for even the shortest amount of time. I feel like that didn't even happen for this.
They did release, what was it, the end of October? It felt like it was really late.
Yeah, it was the end of October, yeah.
I don't even know if it was on top of something, but people just didn't seem to care.
The early reception was so bad, we literally backed out of a spoiler cast.
Yes. Reviews were pretty good when it came out, but that's
some review.
Yeah,
like
reviews
were
okay.
Reviews,
yeah.
But like for context, Inquisition has sold 12 million copies.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's
it
why
managed to outsell the titan of industry, Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have this conversation because I think this is like we now need to talk. Are industry analysts right where they're just saying nobody can sell a fucking game in the market, or is it really just everyone keeps making dog shit?
I think it's beginning to compound. Like people are now inherently distrustful of games that look that way. Like games that look like a big AAA game, people are now inherently distrustful for. And frankly, I I don't think people who were like every Unreal 4 game looked the same were true. Because like fucking I think Strive is an Unreal 4 game.
Yeah, I mean that there are countless games that don't look like each other in Unreal 4.
I do kind of think all Unreal 5 games look the same.
Yes, because the way the TA works and the way the lighting works makes them very much line up and look very similar.
Like, we're reaching the peak of, like, we keep talking about it, where these games focus test themselves down into an oblique sphere that nobody wants.
Yeah,
that's very much like what people talked about when this game came out.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because it was the most expensive Dragon Age to make.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it wasn't.
Yeah, of course.
There's no way it wasn't.
We need to cut this out.
Like,
I want a big important game to come out and sell really fucking well. Like really fucking well.
Like, I don't want to hear people still like hemming and hawing like, well, there's not going to be a crash. There is, and it's here. And it's going to be for the exact same fucking reasons where consumers lost confidence and stopped shelling out money. Within the next couple years, we're going to see like a game spending down 40% from the previous year. And it's going to be like the apocalypse.
Yeah, part of the same report that has the Dragon Age thing, FC 2025 is also down. That's FIFA. That's what FIFA is
they're
now.
fucked. EA is screwed.
Now I'm worried about Mass Effect 4 for certain because that is their crutch.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gaming spending is down in general because industry sure is carrying everyone away.
So everyone, when the weird seemingly overnight transition to the Switch is the most important platform, the Switch 2 is the most important platform that has ever lived happens, remember us. Because when the Xbox shit we kept telling for years finally happened, it felt like everyone went, well, yeah, of course. And I'm like, no, you said that because you've been listening to us say for 3 years that they salted the brand and it's dead.
Yeah, like I told this joke like glibly several years ago. I think 3 years ago. You can somebody go back and listen to all our podcasts and find where I said this.
All of
you
them.
got this.
Like, Japanese companies had a really fucking rough time during 7th gen, but they were able to persist because they had mobile and gacha and pachinko and shit buoying them up a little bit until they could get their house in order. What do these big Western publishers have to lean on?
Exploding.
Nothing.
Conglomerating. That's the same as surviving.
Like some of these companies like Sony and like Capcom and Square Enix and Japanese ones can, if things get that bad, fall back on re-releasing their old games. Because that doesn't cost a lot of money. Those still broadly have prestige. What is Ubisoft gonna do? What is EA gonna do?
The funniest thing is,
what is Activision gonna do?
Like, EA and Ubisoft technically could do that. Like, they could be re-releasing Burnouts, they could be re-releasing Prince of Persia games, but they want to remake them and waste a ton of money.
Here's the thing, Bob. They re-released the only Burnout they're ever going to do that to, Paradise, and they're never going to really release the first four Burnouts ever for some reason.
Yeah, it's like they have these back catalogs they refuse to touch.
It's insane. Anyway, I just want to say one last thing. I genuinely think it's fucking crazy that this is the most self-inflicted wound to crash an industry ever. If you literally had any member of this podcast running any of these publishers or being a vizier to any of these publishers, we could have told you not to do this 4 years ago.
Yeah. And every single company seems to be just running towards it.
And the worst part is, I feel like in this case, Unreal Engine 5's Lucy just took the football.
Yes.
And then just like in that one comic I saw in Blue Sky, Charlie Brown landed on his fucking neck and died.
It's just to keep this a million people out of the comments. Yes, we know Veilguard is an Unreal Engine 5. That's
just a separate.
That's a separate problem.
Frostbite. The problem of all these games looking alike continues even across engines because now that has somehow become a look.
Yeah, because we let an engineer decide what a good quality image is, and it's when less of the image changes frame to frame.
That and was Veilguard. And then, again, that re-announcement trailer, that scared a bunch of people off because they didn't like all the colors and stuff like that. They wanted it to be gritty and dark like the old ones.
That's true.
It's the same thing Diablo 3 was hit with, but to way more of extreme.
It is weird that like they complete like that was always part of the like even Inquisition, which went a lot softer on it, was like Dragon Age has that edgy energy. Like that was part of the appeal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they just ripped
Like,
that out, and we saw it live happen of people like, oh, I don't want it anymore.
Veilguard feels almost, and this isn't a kind of an insane comparison, but hear me out.
Hearing you out.
It kind of reminds me of like Advent Children, where Advent Children felt like, okay, we fixated on what super fans really liked about Final Fantasy VII and not so much the normal person, and that's a much smaller group. And that maybe feels like what they did here, where like you cut off a big part of your fan base to hyper focus on the part that you thought was bigger and was not.
Yeah, I was like, what part did they focus on? Was
With
this
Veilguard?
Yeah, I was like, is there something at the core?
Like it felt like they were going for it's very lighthearted. Oh, look, it's kind of like Critical Role. People post all these funny memes about character interactions between our characters, even though the most famous one involves one character saying, "I'm going to blow your brains out with this shotgun." Yeah, and the name change sucked. What the fuck is the Veilguard?
And then he died.
Dragon Age Dreadwolf.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Dreadwolf is the name of the villain. He's been set up all these times. You've seen fans talking for 8 years, like 10 years. Man, when we finally get Solus, that piece of shit, that scumbag, is like, he's not he's in your head now and in comments on things, and you learn to understand him because he was just misguided.
Also, is a non-fan, Dreadwolf is intriguing. I don't know what that is, but it sounds cool. Veilguard, you find out in the first trailer, oh, there's a veil and they're guarding it.
Yeah, I for me, even as someone who didn't pay that much attention because I thought I was going to play it, Veilguard just strikes me as the alternate universe young adult novel version of Color Guard.
You're
I
right.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I just feel like it's not a compelling name.
How did you end up using the veil in that new game that they're making?
Oh, that's always been a thing.
Like in fantasy in general?
Oh, I know. I meant specifically in Dragon Age.
Yeah, but I'm like, how did they end up doing that in that other spin-off, Eternal Strands?
Oh,
the thing made by people.
Did they do that again?
Yeah, like I was saying, they literally, you go into the veil.
The veil. Yeah. Well, a veil is a thing. You pull back the veil to release.
Yeah, it's a fantasy magic wall. Come up with a cool name, not the veil.
Yeah, call it the fantasy magic wall. That'll get butts and seats. Anyway.
But yeah, like I really want to see. I really can't wait until we get sales numbers on how Silent Hill 2 Remake did.
That would be interesting to know.
That's the one I'm curious about, because I know that on PC it did a lot worse than Veilguard. Veilguard did really good on PC, which is why it's bizarre to me that it turned in sales this bad.
So
like it had higher concurrent players than Dynasty Warriors.
It did better on the platform where it was 60?
Whoa, how'd that happen?
Wonder what
I don't know if you can
means.
get that subscription through Steam though.
It's very interesting that on the platform where it was $60 instead of $70, it seemingly sold fine.
Weird.
What does it mean,
You
Chad?
can't put these factors together. The prices need to go up.
I guess they're just more PC gamers
Yeah, obviously.
who's willing to buy brand new video games. There's no way. There's literally fucking no way that oh my god, this industry is just blowing its legs off every fucking quarter. Anyways, we have one last industry burning down news bit. Let's get it done.
We do.
We have no excitement in telling you this news.
Yeah, Earthblade, the new game from the Celeste devs, is canceled. They did a big long post about it. Apparently they didn't. The way it comes off to me, I'm not going to go over the entire post, but the way it comes off to me is that they didn't make as much progress in the 4 years of development as they really should have. Everybody was frustrated. There was a falling out with the core team, and and that caused them to look at the game and go, are we going to finish this? It's like, it's not worth finishing this. Cancel it.
God, that sucks.
It does suck.
These industries are burning down isn't supposed to affect indies like this.
Yeah, no, they're supposed to be safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, with this and Silk Song, it feels like you make like some big, really big, seminal indie game. Like it seems like you get killed by your own expectations on yourself.
Chat, I promise if you make me enormously wealthy for something I create, I'm just going to create another thing that's almost identical.
That's what you should do. Like,
right, they were right for making Ghostbusters 2.
I mean, they were.
Just make it again. It was a good movie.
Ghostbusters 2.
I would have kept watching them.
GigaBoots 2. Wait a second. I'm not enormously wealthy. Never mind. We can't do that. I'm not even notionally wealthy. Not even fucking close. Let's see. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Get this guy out of the screen. Get out of here.
Thank
We're
God.
done with the fucking industry burning
I don't
down.
want to think about the bulbing for soup version of A Friend Like Me again.
I need to make sure that song is no longer on the soundboard, and then I will let you subject me to the Bowling for Soup cover of A Friend Like Me. You've never had a friend like me, because holy shit, what?
Nightmare.
That must be terrible. Let's move on. So hey, all of that news in the industry burning down segment really leans into this next news article really well. Hey, everybody. According to Kepler L2 on NeoGAF, who is a reliable AMD leaker over many years, Sony is reaching what's called A0 tapeout on the PS6's APU at the end of this year, meaning 11 months from now, implying the PS6 is coming out in 2027. The thing I told you to not do for 4 years!
you know what? I'm okay with this.
Oh, why is that?
Because it's going to sell like shit. And nobody will make games targeting it. So if I buy one, games will run good.
I mean, you know what? Honestly, yeah. That's the point I'm at,
Like
too.
3 years from now, people making games targeting the PS6? Motherfucker, they still aren't making games targeting the PS5.
Right.
And once the
thing.
Switch 2 comes out, they may in fact never do that again.
People kept going, well, you know, there aren't many games that are designed from the ground up for the PS5. And every time I just like lean in and I hit the button that turns on the mic and I go, good.
Yeah.
I want my games to run at 60 locked and have a clean image.
As it turns out, games designed for the PS5, that's bad. You don't want to do that.
From third parties, disastrous. From first parties, apparently disastrous for finishing your Spider-Man game.
God.
You know, I bet if we got insight into the core of the dev team that made God of War Ragnarok, I bet we hear a very similar story about, hey, we really would have liked to have built out the ending of this game a little bit more.
Yeah, that's definitely the weakest part.
It is hands down the weakest part of that video game,
Like
is
that-
the absolute ending.
That would probably be a 10 out of 10 for me if it didn't do that. Because
It
it
would
turns out
really help.
Ragnarok probably should be a bigger deal in Ragnarok.
It Ragnarok.
In the game God of War Ragnarok.
So here's my two notes. This gen needed to be longer. It needed to be longer than 8 years. It needed to be 10 years. And now you're implying it's 7. The same length of time the PS4 got.
And this comes from the people like, oh, thank God we're finally moving on to the PS5. And oh, thank God we're finally moving to the PS4. It's like it took way too long on both of those, it felt like.
Yeah.
And now it's like, no.
Yeah,
You hit a certain threshold where it's just,
yeah, just to be absolutely clear on what Bob meant by that, we are the people where someone at launch of the PS4 is like, we don't need to do consoles. And I'm like, I don't like that. I want to hit you with my car.
right?
And at the PS5 launch, what was it, 2 whole years leading up to the PS5 launch, maybe a year and a half, At the least.
Mhm.
I'm sitting there nonstop going, God, I'm so elated next gen. We're going to obliterate load times and I will never have to deal with this again. And there are people who are just like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. PS5 comes out, they're like, holy shit. And I'm like, yes! Yes, now that you don't have to imagine air, you can breathe. And we're the ones sitting here telling you, you should in no world release the PS6 in 3 years.
Especially after, like, the Pro came out. And I'm assuming it sold really bad. Just an assumption by me. I have no data.
It sold well at first. We have no data since that at first. I'm going to safely assume, nah.
I don't think it's sold out anywhere.
Shocking. The PS6 will not create value. It will only destroy value. Cancel that shit like Nintendo did the Switch Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't say this enough.
They're not gonna.
They have to. They need to.
They're not gonna. They're just gonna release and be like, that'll save us.
I'm not saying they won't do that. I'm saying they need to not do that. They need to literally Switch Pro this thing. Because again, for people who forgot, they literally did all the hardware and R&D and even shipped it to devs for the Switch Pro years ago and then canceled that shit.
Mm-hmm.
They need to do that with this. We are so fucked.
I don't know if we settle into this weird thing where it's like gens are actually like 12 years long now because that's how long they get supported. But they come out every 7 or 8 years. Like they release a PS6, nobody makes games for it except Sony. Maybe.
Yeah.
Took them a fucking while to start making games for the PS5.
That's not true. They made games exclusively for the PS5 at first, and then they blinked.
Yeah. And now that they're just keeping their eyes closed.
Yeah, and then they made all their games. They made games for nothing.
Yeah, they made them put in the fire pit.
But if we settle into a thing where it's like, yeah, buy the new box if you want good performance, and if you're fine at fucking 30 with the scum, stay on the box you have. That's fine, I guess. I don't think the PS6 is going to do very well. Especially if they're like, it's $800. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I think when you broadly disseminate a piece of hardware to the masses that will not be able to run the games well, that may be a problem, and that you shipping that new thing will normalize that might be a problem. I do think the PS6 literally does nothing but destroy value. It is going to be so not supported in meaningful ways by devs anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Except for ones making nightmare games.
It's so hard to make predictions about what companies will do now, because at any time they could wake up and go, oh shit, we're on fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, it feels like
we
Sony...
better do some significant pivoting, which I feel like I keep expecting. It's all we're 2 months away from the end of the fiscal year. I keep expecting to wake up to Herman Hulst is leaving.
Oh yeah, it feels like it's got to be happening, right?
We'll throw a fucking parade.
Like there's so many things happening right now at Sony with all these cancellations of like, oh man, we realize everything has been a mistake.
Mark Cerny's like, hi, I'm Mark Cerny, new emperor of Sony. I took over the company because it was burning down, and the infidels have been excised from our organization.
Getting out of, or doing the can get out of my office, but
Yes.
for literally the entire company.
The entire company. No, Ken, I'm not coming into your office. I'm telling you to get out of mine. So Bob,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see the release date of the PS4 Pro. The exact month. Is it not November 2016?
I have no idea.
I think it's November 2016. Let's see. I'm going to type in the numbers 2016. The Slim came out. Yep. Okay. Yeah. They revealed it in September, and it seems in October they shipped it or something. So that was 4 years from the PS5. Now imagine it was shorter.
Yeah, I was like, that is actually now going to be shorter.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And still no price cuts.
Yeah.
Not even one.
Oh, don't worry. The Switch 2 might make them shit their pants.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be waking up to a Sony price cut at some point within the next 3 months.
Yeah, no. When they're off in their own little world being idiots and they didn't have literally any competition because Microsoft just shot their own feet off.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Like, their only competition was the Switch. The Switch has almost sold completely to saturation.
Yes. Like, completely, yeah.
Like, because the COVID spike was even before the PS5 came out.
Mm-hmm. So...
The start of it. The major part of it. The part where Animal Crossing sells more money, or more copies than anything ever. Yeah. So, here's my second point. I know I said I was going to make 2 points, and then we really got... This better be for the goddamn portable.
That would make any level of sense.
It would. That would not be a death cult. You telling me they launched the PlayStation Portable that is rumored that can run PS5 and PS4 and PS5 games altered, it seems like.
Okay.
The rumors are saying it can do both, but obviously you cannot put the power of a PS5 in a portable. That is simply not possible. If that's 3 years out, that's fine. We're good. That's positive for the ecosystem. That gives value. That is not a net negative. A PS6 is a black pill. That's a cyanide pill for the value of your brand.
Yeah, if you launch a new PlayStation, literally no one buys it. Like, oh, this spell is broken.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Good luck coming back from that. You look like an asshole.
You look like Microsoft.
You do. I think everyone's good. Can we move on?
Sure.
Okay. So this is less an official news story and just something I thought was interesting to bring up because I saw it going around on Blue Sky and saw the charts and stuff. So VR chat has been going for years and years at this point, since 2017. And in that time, a lot of people have been trying to make your metaverses.
Yeah.
And they've all crashed and died. But VR chat the whole time is a continual upward trend with spikes every Christmas.
Yeah,
that is insane. Because again, all of these other ones, every last one crashed and died.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that say? Why doesn't Sony make PS Home 2, says chat. I was getting there. Give me a little bit more time. Anyway, what does that say? Yeah, you need to let normal users who don't have VR headsets access your metaverse, your social VR thing. Because as it turns out, it's still cool to see your friends in there. Even if you don't have body tracking and all the gestures and shit, you still get to see them and talk to them through the headset and shit. Many people do this. I didn't, but many people do. Secondly, Sony, seriously. What are you doing? You have your own fucking platform. You could be launching a differentiating factor for. The PlayStation Network could mean more than we get to charge you rent legally.
Uh-huh.
It could mean something so much more than that. And the dev cost would be so minimal. Like, you did this with PlayStation Home the first time. It didn't occur to you once that maybe you should have any factors to differentiate you from any of your competition. Motherfucker, you launched, we will get developers to make video guides for their own games that are micro slices before you thought we should make our network enriched at all. So stupid. I hope, as I expect, Nintendo announces something that makes you look like a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Also, worth noting, these are just the Steam charts. This does not include the meta numbers.
Right.
This does not include you logging in directly through a meta headset. They had Dreams. The problem with Dreams is that it is a cool tool to make amazing things that is only interested in people into cool tools for creating amazing things.
Right. Like, that's not any sort of wide appeal. It's not trying to be a social thing.
It's not trying to be a social thing. And it's not a mascot thing like Little Big Planet has Sackboy.
Right.
And Sackboy is a platformer.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see other things made in it and you go, yo. The Dreams didn't have that.
Which is so weird. It's like you had it developed for so long. Why didn't you make a single player campaign that was literally a thing?
They did. And then it was the most... We sold early access to this thing. And don't worry, for the real launch, it's there, and by then, no one cares.
Cool.
Hey, Bob, let's talk about your news.
Sure. Discotech did a big stream this week. They announced they're bringing out SD Blu-rays, which are just Blu-rays stuffed with like tons of videos. So it's like one disc that has like 20 plus episodes or something. They're doing these for the old Darkstalkers cartoon in the old Street Fighter cartoon.
Dope. Thank you.
I don't know about the special features on the Darkstalkers one, but the Street Fighter one apparently has like tons of interviews, tons of or not interviews, tons of commentaries from different people in the it's Matt McMuscles and then a bunch of random other guests.
FGC people?
Some FGC people like Justin Wong,
Okay.
Maximilian Dude. Chat's not gonna like this one. Ego Raptor.
Yeah, they already said it and got blocked by the
Yeah.
Automod because I'm that tired of y'all bitching about Ego Raptor. I had to install the Automod years ago.
Yeah, and then a bunch of production arts in there and all sorts of things. It looks like it's going to be a really cool collection.
I'm more okay with the funny YouTube man commentary tracks on something like this than when they do it on actual anime releases. And I'm like, why is that even there? You could have made the packaging slightly shinier. That would have given me more than having somebody fucking do a comedy commentary over this fucking immaculate looking OVA.
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to say the Street Fighter cartoon isn't immaculate? What?
Oh my god.
This is news to me.
The packaging for both of these look really nice. They actually got new artwork for Darkstalkers, done in the style of the Darkstalkers cartoon, but in the layouts from the Darkstalkers games. Those are great. One of them's from Artist Black, and I don't remember who did the other one.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
But yeah, that's exciting. I don't know when these are coming out. They didn't have dates. I think they're just this year, but we didn't get any specifics. I'm going to buy terrible cartoons because this just tricked me again. They keep doing it.
Bob, if you want, I'll buy them.
Okay.
No, this is something I've wanted for a while.
Great.
I watched one fucking episode of the Darkstalkers cartoon on a Dr. O stream, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I need that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've seen of too. Is like, that's insane. They also were. This has nothing to do with gaming, but they also are bringing over the Highlander cartoon,
Ooh.
which is
Was
like,
there never a Highlander game? Not one?
there's got to be a Highlander game. It's got to suck.
I know there's one based on the fucking cartoon for the Sega CD.
Oh my god.
Oh, people are saying it's on the Jaguar.
It's only 13 episodes. They got a game?
It got a Jaguar game.
Jesus.
There was a canceled one that Eidos Montreal was making.
What the
that could have been good.
That could have been something.
It was announced in 2008 and canceled in 2010.
Unfortunate.
We got more multimedia news for these fighting games. So Guilty Gear Strive Dual Rulers, which is the anime. It's going to be on Crunchyroll in April.
Cool.
So it's closer than I kind of expected. I
Yeah.
keep seeing anime projects announced and disappearing for years.
Yeah, the important part is to have someone who owns a gaming IP to try to push you through.
Mm-hmm.
That helps a little. I also thought this was much further off, though.
Right. Weirdly, it's using all the designs from Strive.
Oh, okay.
But Dizzy's Exert design is in there.
Huh.
I don't know.
Flashback?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Could be.
Or it's just set before Strive entirely.
Right. It is using 3D animation and looks pretty janky, so I assume something a little bit above the standard you got for the story mode of Strive itself. That's kind of what I'm expecting
I would
here.
love to see the comparisons.
They put out a new trailer for Phantom Blade Zero, which for people who don't remember, that's the game we saw at a Sony event a few years ago.
Is this the one that is somehow a Genshin Infinity Nikki
No, this is a regular
thing, or is that the other one?
That's the other one. Yeah, this is
Okay, I don't even remember what the other one's fucking called.
Was this the crazy Wuxia one?
Yeah, this is the crazy Wuxia one where he plays the guy in the all black uniform with a cool hat. the new trailer they put out is like a one for the Year of the Snake, and it says that at the end of it, it teases there is a release date. That, they're going to announce the release date this year. I don't know if that means it's going to come out this year.
Yeah, no way.
But apparently they have previously said it would come out this year, but we'll see. The trailer is pretty neat. It's actually just all one boss fight. It's like the main guy fighting 7 dudes at once that are all puppeteered around. In the first half of it, it's like got completely normal music from what I expect from this sort of Dark Souls-like environment that it occupies.
Mm-hmm.
The second half, it literally busts into metal.
Dope.
I'm like, oh, thank God. That's been one of the worst parts of Dark Souls taking over gaming is like music has disappeared. So it's really nice to see I don't care what era it is. Get out the metal guitars.
Oh, yeah.
At least some could have metal guitars.
Right? Like not everything needs to fit in the same mold. The new weapons they showed look pretty neat too. There's one called the Soft Snake Sword.
They got a pill for that.
Where I haven't seen this in games much. You know how in kung fu movies a lot of times they'll use the like a Tai Chi sword that's bendy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those. So it's like you actually see it bending really frequently and like vibrating almost. It's so thin.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it looked really cool. And the other thing he uses like a 2-weapon thing that was like the White Serpent and the Crimson Viper, which looked pretty neat because he threw out the one sword and then spun it on the other sword.
Ooh.
And he also used it to like spin it out into the air and behead dudes. It's like, okay, this could be cool. So I'm excited for this, but this is on Unreal Engine 5. So that's scary.
I'm telling you got to get that 4090, and then I go get a 5090, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah, why did I do this? Not literally no. This is the last year any game that would use it is going to come out. This trailer was said running on PS5 at the beginning, which I don't think Black Myth Wukong ever did once.
That makes sense.
So I'm hopeful that these guys know a little bit more what they're doing in making a video game, because that was Black Myth Wukong's like first game. This is actually not their first game, but they did mobile stuff before. So I don't know how well it applies.
So I was watching a Zoe Techie stream, and they were playing Guess the Game.
Okay.
And it shows a rock wall, and it looks kind of melty, and it's just brown. And I go, that's got to be 7th gen. They show another shot. It's yet again brown, orange, sandstone, sort of like desert cliff looks. And I'm like, this isn't helping. We get to the third game, and through the information it has provided us, keep in mind, this is all a chat. We're not getting it. None of us are getting it. Because Zoe's like, yeah, no, write what you think it is. We get to the third one, and through the other information, we realized it was Black Myth Wukong.
Oh my God.
Just because what the Metacritic was and the fact it wasn't on Xbox.
Oh my God.
I did not realize how much Black Myth Wukong looks like it's just a melty 7th gen game. Like how much it's brown but with the lightest tint of orange.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. I was like, I'm convinced this is 7th gen. Look at it. Fucking Jesus.
Yeah, no, it does that thing where it just went for realism and ended up looking just ugly.
Yeah, because they turned on all the UE5 toggles.
Right.
Honestly, I had to be told that had nanite. And looking at it, I'm still just like, yeah? You sure?
They drag and drop that one nanite demo.
Statue? Oh, yeah,
demo of the rock wall.
Ooh.
That's in a stage, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, awesome. It's kind of like Immortals of Avium also had nanite. And we had to be told.
Yeah, I forgot again. These technologies are so good, man.
They're so good, we have to be told when they're being used.
Just nanite, this is great.
No, we turned it off now.
Darn it.
Anyway.
The Super Technos World River City and Technos Arcade Classics was announced. It's going to be on PS5, Switch, and PC. It's a collection of a bunch of Technos games.
I can read it.
Go for it.
So we got River City Renegade on Super Famicom, Kunio's Dodgeball Time, come on guys, on Super Famicom, Downtown River City Baseball Story on Super Famicom, Kunio's Oden on Super Famicom, The Combat Tribes on Super Famicom, Sugoro Quest + Dice Nix on Super Famicom, Dun Quest, all one word, DUN Quest, on Super Famicom, Super Dodgeball on Arcade and Neo Geo, Zaned Selena I'll spell that one out. XAIN apostrophe D space SLEENA arcade. China Gate, which I feel like any day now we're due for that one. On arcade, The Combat Tribes on arcade, and Shadow Force on arcade. Kunio-kun dodgeball games are really good, so I might get tricked into buying this.
Right. Yeah, this comes out in April in Japan at least. I don't know when it comes to the States. These games are pretty neat. I'd like to try more of them. I feel like I've only played like one of these.
I've technically played none of these because I have normal dodgeball.
Oh, this
on
is
NES.
different.
That's the Super
This
Famicom.
is Super Famicom one, yeah.
So
The arcade version, that looks crazy. Like,
Yes.
the sprites are huge. I'm really curious how that plays.
yeah, their dodgeball games are good. Wait a second, did I play their dodgeball? Oh no, no, I played volleyball and fucking soccer. I didn't even play the dodgeball one. Oh no. Well, I guess I'm not buying it.
Too many unknowns.
Too many. I'm scared. A slightly different sport? Fuck that.
In my last news story, Sega announces they're doing an online account system. It connects to different gaming platforms. And
Shut up.
It gets you extra stuff in some games, and it's gonna suck. It's
Shut
gonna
up.
suck really bad. It's there to collect your data and not for you at all.
Yeah,
It
Jesus.
literally has no positive
Why
for you.
does anyone want this?
Why are they jumping on this in 2025?
They're asleep. They took too much melatonin and they're behind the wheel.
Right. That's crazy. I saw people serializing, oh, they're doing this so they can do crossplay on these games. It's like, they could do that before. Tekken doesn't need this.
Oh no. By simply having seen the rest of the market, you can expect better.
Whoa.
Yeah, Sega, I'm not signing up for any more fucking accounts.
We're done. It's 2025.
Yeah.
I already will be happy when Ubisoft burns down, so I don't have to see their own achievement system popping up in front of me on a game I'm playing on a fucking PlayStation.
So frustrating. It's so
I'm
dumb.
not giving any of you motherfuckers my data anymore. How valuable can it be when everyone collects it?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking about that today driving around. I'm like, by now my data has to be stupidly redundant. How do
Right.
they keep selling each other this shit? Yo, this motherfucker loves Columbo and VR chat. Oh, you knew that? Well, whatever. I just sold it to you for $3 anyway. Let's go to Chris
it's
News.
so stupid.
It is so
It's-
stupid. It's hideously stupid.
Okay, here's a fucking insane story. Captain Blood, a pirate game intended to release in 2010 and canceled for whatever reason, has been uncanceled. It comes out on everything, even Xbox One, May 6th.
I'm excited. That this is such a 7th
This
gen
is a
game we would
7th
play.
Yeah, this is a 7th gen action game that was kept in the canister for you guys for 15 years.
Yeah, that's exciting. The trailer is great. Honestly, it is so of the era.
I'm looking at this. I don't know. This doesn't look like a 7th gen video game specifically. It definitely doesn't. It
It looks like fucking Fable.
no, it definitely. It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't look like any number of those. Holy shit! I'm losing it. What do you?
Yeah, they just made it. They just released it for
This
us.
is incredibly bold.
Yeah,
This is a bold new strategy. I feel like people should start doing this. When are we going to get that Prince of Persia that was in development at the end of 7th gen? What's up with that?
Oh man, that'd be great. Yeah, I guess there was some deal with they had a falling out with the publisher. Like the publisher shut down, and then they also lost the rights due to that, so they couldn't release it. So now finally, this new team has picked it up, and they finished it up and are putting it out.
Fantastic. Seriously, it just looks like I'm showing pictures for a fucking 7th.
Yeah, this is a 7th gen game we would make up.
Chat, we did it. We finally made one up.
Right. This is wet. This is soggy.
Captain Blood is also like, we didn't even try hard to make a fake 7th gen game.
No.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Yeah, the bearded dude in this picture does look like World of Warcraft. I don't know.
He has a little bit of
I mean,
that
that's also
energy.
kind of how Fable looks.
Uh-huh.
It's insane. Finally, some good news.
Finally.
Insomniac Games CEO Ted Price has announced retirement The 3 new co-studio heads for the studio are Ryan Schneider, Chad Dezern, and Jin Huan. Chad Dezern is from the creative end and has done artwork like going back to the PS2, maybe even PS1. And the other 2 are like finance guys.
Ted Price he's the founder of the studio. He's been running it literally since the very beginning. This feels crazy.
Yeah, no, that's kind of insane.
Ted, I sincerely hope you have better insight this time than the time you decided to sell to Sony right before everyone started selling to everyone else at 100 times the price you sold to Sony.
Yeah.
I sincerely hope.
Hope he keeps doing his podcast.
Oh, yeah. No, it's him and other people running that. I think his interviews are the best ones. He's the best at it. It's not even close. I would have appreciated a formal apology for Resistance 2, but I basically got that.
Yeah, I was
that
like,
one.
he kind of did that.
He was like, that's when I decided to never get involved in creative again. And I'm like, that's good enough. That's close enough.
Do you think that this Chad guy also said that when he stepped up to this position? He's like, I will never actually do anything creative work again.
You should have her say you lied to me, Miles. You should have her say that. Are you sure? Does that make a lot of... Yes, it does.
Yeah, while nothing in this story is bad, it sure makes me look at the context in which it exists and kind of suck my teeth a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, leadership shakeups are great when everything is burning down and the most important thing everybody needs right now is good management.
Yeah, it's also worth noting, it wasn't even that many months ago we covered the story about the Wolverine shakeup.
Yeah.
Where the directors and whatnot got all shuffled around.
I sure hope we don't find out that game's fucked in now 2028.
Ted just like, no, I need out.
Ted's like, haha, this sucks, dude.
Silent Hill F, that is the Ryukishi 07 When They Cry authors Silent Hill game, and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 have both been rated in Korea. What?
Crazy.
Man, I can't wait to see what a shit show Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is from a distance.
Oh, you're not going to stream it?
You don't want to spend $70?
I might stream it later in the year when it is cheaper.
What? That'll take forever. That might take 2 whole weeks.
They need to stop.
I'm waiting for the first one of these games that is obviously going to be $70, and then they at the last second they're like, it's actually $40.
Jesus.
That reminds me, this is the first time we have learned, guys, you got to go back and finish Dynasty Warriors Origins on stream. Because with Unknown 9 has proven if you don't finish a game, the studio dies. Your power is inverted if you don't finish it.
One moment.
No, the Unknown 9 suite is great. It's doing fine.
Yeah, it's just a few layoffs.
They're going to work on a Bandai Namco IP.
Bamco IP, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be a great Gundam game.
It's going to be the best Gundam game, actually.
I would like to hope that they're not delusional enough to be like, that's our IP. Another AVGN game has hit the towers.
Didn't we have 2 already?
Yes, we did.
So wouldn't this one be hitting the forest or something?
Well, there's 3 towers.
One's kind of got an...
Did the Pentagon...
The Pentagon sort of...
I'm trying to remember the chronology of that famous day.
The famous day for
Angry Video
9/11.
Game... It's called Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit. It's published by Retroware.
You tried so hard on that title. Angry Video Game Nerd 8-Bit.
It apparently can actually run on a Nintendo, which doesn't surprise me that much because I think that's what that new Rugrats shit claimed too. It's like, yeah, we got the NES mode running on an NES, which is certainly a way to ensure your shit is accurate.
Yeah, it also ensured that from what I've seen, and I only glanced at it, I didn't watch the full trailer, a lot of the enemies are so monochromatic. I'm like, what the hell? This looks like terrible NES art. Oh, it runs on a real NES. Well, then it doesn't look like terrible NES art. It is.
Wow, it's like a real European developer made this NES game.
That's great. I'm going to look at the ceiling and wait for the dripping because it's going
it
to
is
kill
being
my
made-
ass.
It is being made by a company that makes a million little pixel art games called Mega Cat Studios, I think is the studio name. They have made so much shit. Like their credits list is like 40 games.
Wow.
Just on. Oh, they only have one on Steam. Most of their shit was not big enough to get on Steam. Even seems like.
I'm
That's
trying to see if I
crazy.
know anything they've made.
This is a mark quality.
Let's see, creepy brawlers, log jammers, Renfield, Bring Your Own Blood, The Inn Eating, Coffee Crisis, Lethal Wedding, Romeo and Julie Cat.
Yeah, this
He's making
guys,
these up.
guys, you don't understand. You don't understand. 1 second. There are like multiple games from the studio per year. Per year, it's just like boom, 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 boom. So for example, developer Mega Cat Studios, not just published. They did Coffee Crisis, Log Jammers, Justice Duel, and Mega Marble World all in 2017. In 2018, they did Little Medusa, Creepy Crawlers, Creeping It Real, Sittin' Kitten, and Expedition. And these are all like, this is for Super Nintendo, this is for NES, this is for whatever.
This is weird.
It seems like they're trying to transition into making more substantial games because I'm clicking on their homepage and all the games that are like, oh, they made WrestleQuest. I heard of that. That's a real game.
Yeah, that's, is that also? No, that is not also Retroware published. That's Skybound Games.
But like
yeah,
a
they
lot of
showed
these
up as
games
some-
that look,
Yeah.
a lot of these games that look like more like a real game are like, it's not out yet. So it looks like they pivoted. They're trying to do a pivot to getting like more substantial things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is weird.
They also ported Backyard Baseball 97 to fucking Steam. That's weird.
Okay.
And Fuga Melodies of Steel 3 launches May 29th. Maybe since there's no games this year, I'll finally play Fuga 1 and 2.
Is this one made by the director? He went to Platinum, did
Yeah,
he?
I was like, I assume not because he left. So
Right,
it has
so-
to be a new guy.
God, that's weird.
That is weird that it keeps going.
All right.
I mean, that's a lot of people were.
Maybe
thought that
a lot of people worked on it.
Yeah, it's just weird that the director shot out and they're like, get the third one out now. It's like, what? I'm not going to slow down for. Okay. That's
Maybe it could have been a situation where like it's a trilogy and that's literally the end of the story. I don't know.
maybe. I don't know.
Like maybe they just
No one
that
played
was
it.
already ready to go.
Is he at Platinum or Clover's? No. Last we heard, he's still at Platinum. He's like one of the only people still at Platinum. Shows a great time.
Yeah. Ready for that Fuga style service game.
I like Moby Games is unbelievably useful to be able to cross-reference like who worked on a game, but I can't help but sometimes there's like no thought whatsoever to maybe these people just have the same name.
Yeah, no, that definitely happens.
Yeah.
Because I do not believe that Yasuhiro Noguchi, the scenario writer for Fuga 1 and 2, was also worked on character and animation for the Thousand Year Door remake. I feel like those are probably different people.
Probably.
But yeah, that's all mine is.
Chris, did you play the other AVGN games?
Yes, I did. In fact,
Oh.
I played as according to the anecdote I shared on the AVGN movie Cursed Content. I played the second one, which is entirely about the movie without having played the movie. So I'm like, who's this fucking girl? Who's this general?
You're like, I can't wait
What
till
is
I,
all this shit?
I watch this movie and have a character to put in
I
that
never thought
spot,
that even once.
spot in my brain that isn't just girl. And then you watch the movie and you went, oh no.
Yeah, that again. I'm sorry, James Rolfe. You somehow made, I think, probably the worst YouTuber movie.
That
Like, I can't even say the Channel Awesome ones are worse because you knew better.
Yeah, that's the part that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be that person who blames the other person involved with the writing because I like James Rolfe, but I can't help but sit there and be like, your writing credits are really bad, dude. Anyway, that's it for Big Think Dimension. I know. By making statements like that, Chris is stirring the fires of people wanting us to watch the Smosh movie or a Logan Paul movie because they're YouTuber movies. There's a whole well of YouTuber movies out there that look
I'm
fucking
sure
rotten.
those are probably bad. I doubt they're as bad as the AVGN movie.
Well, yes,
I don't think you guys understand.
With Smosh.
I don't think you guys understand how much I don't like that AVGN movie.
Yeah. Just not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna real quick, real fast, without saying anything.
Yeah. Hmm.
Do you think that's better than the AVGN movie?
I don't think so.
There are so many YouTuber movies. And for anyone who's like, well, obviously, that box art, he's just making an extra goofy face. Random scene grab.
Yeah, we're not watching the Fred movie. That doesn't count.
It does, though. That's what's in that genre. You just
they got a TV show. That had a TV show,
but he was a YouTuber.
Movie.
He's a YouTuber.
That doesn't matter.
So if
what do you mean he was a YouTuber first? That fucking movie premiered in 2010.
Yeah. Do you not know about Fred?
I know about Fred, but that doesn't count. He became a TV actor. It's not real anymore.
So you're telling me if Chad Vader had a movie, I could sit here and be like, well, there was a show.
Was Chad Vader on television?
It's probably on X-Play.
Okay, that doesn't count. But if you have a Nickelodeon TV show and then a movie going from that, building off of that, then it's a TV movie, not a YouTuber movie.
I can't help but note the moment that somebody tries to point out a problem with the statement you've made, a lot of litigation starts happening.
Yeah, because chat will stretch the limits of any definition to try and find the worst thing. The point is, YouTube guys try to make a movie, not a Hollywood studio uses a guy who originated at YouTube to do something. Those are different projects.
So you're writing off everything with larger financial support? Is that?
Yes. It has to be a YouTube. The highest we'll go is YouTube Red, so we can watch the Game Grumps YouTube Red series.
Oh.
Because that was on YouTube Red, so it's still YouTube. Look, this is a pointless argument. We still have to watch Fanboys before we can do any of this.
It's true. We gotta watch Fanboys. And
what's that movie? What's that hideous fucking movie I watched the trailer from and then ejected from when it was like we're going to the Gears of War tournament?
Oh, that was the one with Jason Mewes.
Oh God,
that was the one where Jason Mewes is an epic gamer going to the Gears of War tournament.
Yeah, I think the first thing is him like really creeping on a woman and she maces him, and that's like the first thing in the trailer.
He wasn't creeping on the woman. He was socializing with the child and then misphrased something to make him seem like a child pest. And then the woman
Noobs with a
maced
Z.
Yes, Noobs with a Z, yes.
Great.
What does that make the Gran Turismo movie? A video game movie.
That's a video game movie.
Yeah, where was that on
the
YouTube?
Confusion?
What?
We were talking about YouTuber movies, and you're like, what does that make this? What does that make this? Holds up object, a book. You're holding a book. What the fuck, chat? Chat's brain just faulted.
Right. It's like, is this a place for a Gran Turismo movie? I need to talk about it right now.
Finally, my time has come. No, it hasn't.
Chat is now nothing but horrible things they want us to do. We will have to do the decline of video gaming at some point, considering that the people behind it made Crow Country.
Oh my God.
Oh my Man, Crow Country's so good. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
So I feel like we need the start and the ending.
Anyways, that's it for this big thing to mention. Friday, Devil May Cry 3 on the Switch with an invisible Tiger-chan. Please look forward to it.
She's a ghost.
She's a ghost, a spooky ghost. And Chris will be healing.
Yeah, there'll be a stream if I stop coughing. But considering I had multiple fits during this podcast, which and let me stress this, I am better.
Yeah.
I have a lingering cough. It's a thing that comes when you get a cold sometimes, where you're completely healed, except you cough for 2 weeks. Like the only reason I wouldn't want to stream is so I'm not coughing audibly constantly into the microphone. It's bad enough that we had that one podcast of that had to be edited around.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate.
There was a lot.
That was really unfortunate. On a related note, Game of the Year's on hiatus next week is Pokemon.
Yeah, you might as well we were missing a member. I don't know.
You might know.
Yeah,
We're missing a member.
There's this gap here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you're not privy to that goes beyond what you might think. So please look forward to Pokemon.
There are all sorts of things extra dimensionally beyond your reckoning that might factor into whether or not a Game of the Year episode comes out. So, Game of the Year will continue. It will be full in length, but it will not be Monday.
It would absolutely not be Monday.
It will never be Monday. Okay. See you all later. Goodbye, listeners.
If you appreciated this podcast, you can head on over to patreon.com/GB podcast to get access to delightful movies such as Isolation 119. I have just been told that is the only film over there, never mind. It is a great film about a guy going to Thailand for a tax break. That is patreon.com/GB podcast. Good night, everyone.